Hello. Happy 4th of July. My neighbors have very recently finished shooting off every firework in the state. I assume that was their grand finale, but I'm still hearing booms, and that's making me distressed. I fear they may do a second grand finale. Fear not. I'm not being actively shot at. I just have inconsiderate neighbors. Yay! Merry America. Okay. Well, the the power outage last night has forced me to exist in the general vicinity of the firework noises. We're gonna have to live with it. Round two on the fireworks show. It's not. They stopped. They stopped for like 45 seconds, and there were a lot of boom. They're making more. They're gonna do like a third or fourth grand finale probably. Let's see how loud that is. How loud is that to you? I tried to turn my mic kind of away, but I fear the sounds are coming through, and they may be incredibly loud. Whatever. This I've started streaming anyway. Okay, the entire game is designed by the authors to be very, very red. Adjust the red saturation to your comfort level, referring to the image above, or leave the settings at default to fully immerse yourself in the atmosphere. 4 out of 10. Yeah, turn it just white. Full red. The stream is gonna be red and blue. It's festive. I got an achievement for being incredibly red. Maybe I should like move my mic somewhere else. Oh, they're speaking Russian at me. Oh god, wait. Where silence reigns, unlike the noisy cities. Grandma Rita, I'm feeling noise right now. I'm feeling it, Grandma Rita. Okay, I've switched. You might hear some sounds. I've switched the side that my microphone is on, and maybe it'll be quieter. I just have to now click my buttons on my mouse wrong. Anyway, what's next, Grandma Rita? In the darkness that swallows the light, and among the dense forest near the village, a secret hides. The voices are gonna be stressing me out. People whisper tales about a creature living in the dark forest. This is the story of BANEBUSH, a mighty leshy. I may have to turn off your voice, Grandma. There's so many sounds happening to me all at once, Grandma. Oh, this is gonna be a disaster, you guys. Okay. Sorry, Grandma. Sacrifices must be made. Okay. You have ever faced him directly. Yet anyone stepping into the thicket feels his presence in every trembling leaf and every creak of the trees. So there is an evil bush in this. We had evil rocks in that other game, and now we're doing evil plant life. Okay. Things are falling on my desk. This is going very well so far. I'm having a wonderful night. Beasts hide in their burrows, birds fall silent, and trees bow to the forest master at the sound of his ancient roots moving. Gonna get chased by a tree, too. Everyone's blood runs cold in his presence. They might be done. Are they done? He was feared more than any creature. That's why he's called BANEBUSH. That's a good reason. Hey, there's a guy there. Sometimes as you wander the forest, you hear creaks and cries. Those are restless souls still roaming among the oaks, seeking peace for their wrongs against the leshy. Thanks, Grandma. I love your stories. For centuries, villagers passed down legends of BANEBUSH, about how he drove travelers mad, leaving them lost in the forest, and his terrible deeds. Anyone who disrespected his realm faced his savage wrath and became food for worms among the ancient trees. They're starting again. You can't scare me more than the noise outside. Fear BANEBUSH, child! He's breaking into my house right now! If you meet him, run without looking back! Oh no. Should I sit here until they finish their third grand finale? How many fireworks did my neighbors buy? So what, he still roams our forests? Just listen. Okay, Grandma. During the bloody times of the Patriotic War, our village fell in hard times. Bandits began raiding and tormenting the villagers. The strong men who could have resisted the hooligans were taken to the front. Only boys and young lads were left with the girls, no one to defend the village, so those scoundrels ran amok. They took the last dishes, stripped our village to the bone. I like that's the example you use. They stole all our plates. Only one brave boy decided to help the village. He ventured deep into the forest to find BANEBUSH. And he got shot to death with a million guns. Our village was part of his domain, so he should protect it if properly asked. He was ready to do anything to drive those cursed outsiders from the village. For better or worse, the boy found the Leshy. Yeah, how you doing, man? Do I click on you? Okay, no, we still read. No one knows the outcome of their meeting. Some say BANEBUSH took the boy under his protection, turning him into a wild wolf. In his new form, the brave boy tore apart all the marauders. Yay! But others claim BANEBUSH destroyed the poor boy to ensure no one disturbed his solitude. If this doesn't stop soon, we might have a new contender for worst stream. It doesn't matter who thinks what. What matters is that neither the boy nor the marauders were ever seen again. Chapter 1. Okay. Yay, the bus. This really is incredibly red. In my childhood, Grandma told many stories. The ones about forest spirits and the local folklore were my favorites. I'll always remember her tales with warmth. What a nice, warm, comforting story I was just told. I especially love the stories about the evil Leshy BANEBUSH, who, according to legend, lives in the nearby woods. You're a weird kid. Grandpa often jokingly scared me, saying BANEBUSH would come at night and drag me into the forest if I didn't dig in the garden or misbehave. A frightening yet truly wonderful and carefree childhood in the village. I miss it. Gonna have a stroke. After Grandma's death, I inherited her house. Sometimes I feel ashamed that I didn't take care of it. I went once to handle the paperwork and then never found the time. I'd like to sell it, but who wants an old ramshackle hut in the middle of nowhere? Who would have thought, but now this house has become more useful than ever. It's no secret that getting involved in criminal schemes can lead to serious trouble. I didn't think it would happen to me this time. I can only hope that Foreman and his thugs won't find me here. Lose a package of bagged drugs weighing a couple of kilograms. Freaking awesome! I went to pick up the goods outside the city. Everything was calm and smooth. I arrived at the spot, dug up what I needed, and headed back along the same route. But on the way back, a car cut me off. Clearly, this didn't bode well. Before I could understand anything, I saw 3 hulking men stepping out of a black car with tinted windows. Watch out, he's got a gun! Of course, with a gun to your head, anyone would hand over the package of drugs without argument. My hide's worth more to me. I'm ready to swear this was a setup by Foreman. Either way, I'm in deep trouble. I know full well how couriers are treated in these situations. Go to the police? What's the point? What would you tell them? That someone stole your drugs? What a fairy tale life. I just hope no one knows where I am. I left most of my things in the city. There didn't seem to be a tale. I need to lay low. Journey to the village is quite long. Maybe there would be a chance to get a little more sleep on the way. It just doesn't stop. It never stops. They keep faking me out. I'm just kidding, I'm getting paranoid. Oh boy, I arrived in the village. I felt strange coming back here after so many years, as if I had been avoiding this place all along. During my absence, the village became completely abandoned. In my childhood, it seemed brighter, and there were more people. Now there's almost no one left here, maybe a dozen old folks living out their days, and me running away from my problems. And surely nothing evil. I quickly found the road. In childhood, my neighbor friend and I often raced from Grandma's house to the bus stop. Seems this path is forever etched in memory. The house looked old, but stood sturdy despite years of loneliness. The roof sagged slightly, but looked reliable. The paint had peeled off, revealing the wood darkened by time. Yeah, this house needs long and expensive repairs. I'm afraid it'll cost more than the house itself. Let's look around. Burn! After skirting the property a bit, I reached the backyard. On the crooked structure that once served as the base of a scarecrow, a raven sat motionless. It was frozen like a stone gargoyle and didn't flinch at my presence. With a tinge of sadness, I noted that the bird, monotonously blinking its eyes, was the only living soul I'd encountered. I accidentally clicked. Oh well. The entire plot was a muddy plain washed out by recent rain. Oh wait, there's a history button. What is it? The only living soul I'd encountered since getting off the bus. Okay. The entire plot was a muddy plain washed out by recent rain. What a dump, I thought as I looked at it. There used to be a big garden here, tended with elderly persistence by Grandma and Grandpa. Everywhere grew fragrant mint and lemon balm, which Grandpa used to brew aromatic tea. Looking at the remnants of my grandparents' once glorious garden, I realized it died when its owners passed away. Well, that's usually how it happens. Knife! Free knife! I shifted my gaze to the old stump that, as I recalled, Grandpa used for chopping firewood. with a kitchen knife. Looking closer, I noticed something sticking out of it. Yay, knife! Free weapon! An old rusty knife was stuck in the stump. I squatted and examined it closely. A couple of cracks in the time-darkened handle and a noticeably dulled blade in some places. Would it be useful to me out here in the wilderness? Of course. Free knife. I got an achievement for retrieving the knife. I pulled the knife out of the soaked wood and weighed it in my hand. It was lighter than it looked at first glance. It might come in handy. Better to keep it with me. Alrighty. I didn't find anything else interesting, just dirt boards and dry overgrowth everywhere. I didn't want to linger outside any longer. Alright, I guess I have no choice then. Don't say hi to any of your neighbors. The door yielded to my efforts with a loud creak. The influx of air stirred the dust, making it swirl around the entire room. Everything looked as if time had stopped from the moment I was last here. We have old TV, we have photo, we have gas stove. Do we still have TV in here? Does it work? On the shelf stood an old TV with a large crack on the screen. I guess not. As far as I remember, it didn't work. Father accidentally broke it when we were sorting through things in the house after Grandma's death, and we didn't bother throwing it away for some reason. Back in the early 2000s, Mom and Dad bought it for the elders, spending part of their savings. I remember us all sitting together in front of it, listening to Grandpa swearing as he adjusted the antenna cable to get a signal. Now the TV was just a gloomy witness to past joys, silent and covered in dust. Alright. On the wall, in an ornate wooden frame, hung a photograph of Grandma Rita. Her face in the photo, taken on a photocore, was calm, with a faint trace of fatigue. There was nothing special about this photo except for the quiet sadness of days gone by. It's on the stove. On the stove, covered in a thick layer of greasy dust, stood an old kettle with worn spots on his body. Grandpa used it to brew morning tea for Grandma and me, made from carefully grown and harvested garden herbs, mint, lemon balm, and oregano. Pizza tea. I remember during one of those tea times, Grandma was baking something delicious in the oven while telling me how Dad and Grandpa spent an entire day bringing this stove from a neighboring town. That was right after Grandma complained to Grandpa that her stone stove had cracked. At that time, gas was just being installed in the village, and the stove became a new wonder of technology for her, she liked to say. Yay, technology! I looked around the room that opened before me, feeling how the house no longer felt as familiar as it once did. This was no longer the cozy summer retreat where I used to spend my time with great pleasure. Peeling walls, dust everywhere, a greasy bedspread from the perestroika era, and the smell of mold. I managed to pay for electricity and gas in the city. There's enough food for tonight, and tomorrow I can go to the village store. After all, the house had everything needed to lay low for a while. It's 20:31 o'clock. I got an achievement for it being 20:31 o'clock. The time was 8:31 p.m. 2 bars of signal, July 5th. Of course, a couple of missed calls from my friends. Maybe I should turn off the phone just in case, though I doubt Foreman would think to track me through my phone. It was like a mysterious new character. The bed, which had miraculously survived all this time, creaked. Old springs were felt beneath the thick fabric. What a dump, I thought. In my childhood memories, the house really looked better. It was alive. It's hard to imagine how my grandparents lived their whole conscious lives here. About their unconscious lives. I think they would have been happy anywhere together. Mom said that when Grandpa died, Grandma took it really hard. Her health quickly deteriorated, and she refused to go to the hospital in the city, no matter how much Mom insisted. Less than a year after Grandpa's death, Grandma passed away. I hope they're happy together now. I need to stop thinking about sad things. It's depressing enough already. Stop ruining an already lousy mood. Maybe I should have some tea. Do we have any plants? Are you just gonna find dusty old tea in the cabinets? Flame ignited. Looks like the gas is on. What about your tea? Don't take it now! There's an open flame in the house! Damn, it's all such a blur. My lights just flickered also. This is... I'm being attacked. Thoughts about the bastards I'm hiding from wouldn't leave my mind. How long can I stay holed up in this dump like a mouse? A month? A year? And if they find me, then what? It's clear they won't listen to me. First they'll break my fingers, then toss me off a bridge into the river. Maybe they'll give me a chance to work it off, and then I'd have to slave away from them for free for who knows how long. Easy money turned into problems I don't know how to fix. Don't sell drugs, kids. In endless attempts to figure out how to cover the loss, I achieved nothing. Loud car as well. My savings were around 90 grand earned in my spare time. Of course, that's not enough to pay them off or replace the goods, and I don't have the right connections. The package delivery coordinates were given anonymously. I can't even play this video game. Sorry, let me crash out for a moment, as the kids say. They've done a grand firework finale probably like 5 times. They started at like 7:30 p.m. And now there's loud cars driving past my home. Are people drag racing outside of my house? And then my lights, and also my lights flickered, which has made me scared because the power went out last night, and then it came on today again at noon. So I was without power that whole time. It's coming for me. I don't know what I did, but it's come. Karma has come for me. Can you guys hear that? Can I? I'm gonna see if the fireworks do appear on OBS. I'm determined. I'll get through it. It'll be funny. Eventually. Okay. The only person I know is Pasha Foman, a recruiter in this business, and incidentally a 2-meter-tall boxer and enforcer. Now I regret abandoning my attempt to succeed in tech repair, but back then it was a struggle to make ends meet. They're kind of muffled sounding. Well, at least they're muffled a little bit. They're so loud, though. Sometimes they'll set off one and I'll actually feel the house shake. Fireworks are illegal here, by the way. They're not supposed to have those. I don't know how they keep getting them. There's just no police. Okay. Now my tech repair job. Yeah, I understand. Take a nap with your open flame on the stove. Don't even worry about it. What about your tea, dude? Started to drift off to sleep. One by one, childhood images came to mind. Aw, the cows. Children's laughter, bright sunlight, happiness, and no responsibility. God, I wish that were me. My biggest fear back then was Grandma scolding me if I didn't come home before dark. If only I could stay in that moment, I'd never have ended up in the situation I'm in now. Unfortunately, time doesn't lie and life moves on. I dreamt of the football field that was the pride of our village. Sturdy goals, even with nets, just like real football players. Yay! FIFA! As kids, we could play football on that field all day long. Friendship, laughter, gum, fresh air. Oh, weird thing to put in the middle there. He really liked gum, I guess. And in the evening, Grandma waited at home with warm tea and the most delicious food in the world, made with love. Ah, youth. In the dream, a memory appeared as if it were real. One evening in midsummer, I decided to take a shortcut through the forest to Grandma's house. The local boy said you could noticeably shorten the route if you went straight through it without turning. I was running late for dinner because of an overly long game of football. The ghoul. The forest surrounding our village was very dense and impenetrable. It wrestled with the many voices of nature as if trying to drown out the sounds of village bustle. Grandma and Grandpa never let me wander through it, warning me I'd get lost and a wolf would take me away. Show me the guy. I moved straight ahead, confident I was heading in the right direction. The sunlight filtered through thick branches, casting a play of light and shadow on the ground. The forest sounds grew more eerie. I began to feel as if someone was watching me. I feel like I should probably be saving this game. maybe I should save this game. Okay. The thicket grew denser around me, and I started to realize I'd been walking too long, even though the boys said it wasn't far. Wandering along forest paths and aimlessly weaving between trees, I completely lost my way. You're supposed to go in a straight line, moron. There's nothing easier than walking in a straight line. Have you found out what's in the woods yet? Evil bush, I think. I'm lost! Am I going to die in the forest? I thought, on the verge of tears. Go straight ahead, idiot. Go straight. I was told to go straight ahead. If you go straight ahead, eventually you'll find your way out. That's how it works. Oh, I can make him jiggle. The dense grove stretched endlessly. The crunch of dry leaves echoed underfoot, and the air was filled with forest scents. I took a deep breath, hoping to catch the scent of pine needles and fresh moss. But a stench, seemingly coming out of nowhere, suddenly hit my nose, making me feel nauseous. I grimaced and held my breath, peering into the thicket. Eek! Suddenly, a dark and terrifying hunched figure leapt out of the forest. A monster, wrapped in roots like armor, materialized among the trees and stared straight at me. My heart pounded out of my chest, and a long scream escaped my mouth. Get out of there, bro! Without realizing it, I bolted with all my strength. I leapt over obstacles, scratched myself on bushes, anything to keep from stopping. My lungs felt like they would burst, but I kept running. Run without looking back! My tea! Okay. Told you shouldn't have fallen asleep, man. It's dangerous. Yeah. My first reaction to the dream slipped out aloud. What was your first reaction to say, yeah? What a load of crap. I'd almost forgotten about that incident. Back then, crying and scratched up, I ran home shouting, Grandma, I saw the BANEBUSH in the forest! After my outburst, Mom gave her a hard scolding, saying her scary tales were driving me crazy. It seems like it was after that incident that I started having nightmares so often. So maybe Mom was right. Without Grandma's creepy stories, I might have been less jumpy. I long ago convinced myself that back then my overactive imagination mistook a tree stump for a monster. I still don't know what I saw that day, but one image always remains in my memories of it. Alessi, just as Grandma described in her tale, stood in the middle of the forest, staring at me with his red eyes. The ghoul! My thoughts were interrupted by a sharp knock on the window, as if someone had thrown a stone at it. Yes? They couldn't have tracked me, could they? No, Foreman shouldn't even know about this place. Unless... he tracked me through my phone. No, that's just paranoia. I don't want to cut myself off completely. I need to check what it is. I have no choice but to look. I can wiggle. There's nothing outside the window, just the yard, as usual, just run down. If life gets better, I'll definitely tidy this place up. My grandma and grandpa really love this place. I need to pay my respects to my departed relatives. I was just gonna say jump scare me. Didn't even get out the first syllable. Cuss! You throw your phone at it. Where are you flying, you crazy bird? Into the window. What do you mean? Totally lost it scaring me like that, you lunatic. This kind of stress could send me to an early grave. Sit here, it's all a madhouse. This one bird. I need to relax, pour some tea, and eat something. I cleared the table and started preparing my first dinner in the village in a long time. Is that what, cookies? I pulled out bagels and a couple of candies from my backpack, hastily bought at a kiosk near the station. The dinner of champions. I brewed myself some green tea with mint. Funny, it looked just like it did in childhood. Well, tea generally looks very similar. Those were good times, though even last week wasn't so bad. Pushing away gloomy thoughts, I took a sip from my mug, imagining it was the same tea Grandpa used to brew for me as a child. But alas, the taste was far from the same. Probably because you, severely overboiled your water. I felt a little better. But I couldn't sleep peacefully without making sure another bird wouldn't fly into my window at night. Throw your phone at it again. It was already dark outside. I looked around trying to spot the crow, but there was no one in sight. The same overgrown yard and dense forest with trees swaying gloomily in the shadows. After a long day and a warm drink, I felt sleepy. Cover up the window, at least. I would not want somebody being able to, peek in at me as I slept. Tonight I could really use a good rest, but as always, anxious thoughts crept into my mind before sleep. The coffin with my body slowly lowers into the grave. Each thud of earth on the lid sounds like a final heartbeat. I'm gone, just cold and silence remain. My body will dissolve into this earth, decay, and become food for worms. The circle of life. Mom will stand at the grave. Oh, and I skipped it because I'm stupid. Mom will stand at the grave, her eyes swollen from tears, unable to believe her only son is now in this wooden box. Will she think it's a mistake, that I'll rise any moment to hug her? What will I leave behind? Everything that seemed important will turn to dust and rot with me. I will be forgotten. Everything I did, good or bad, will all be swallowed by the earth. Bye-bye. See you. There's a bug. There's a bug. The bug in my house. Get out. In the dead of night, something suddenly yanked me out of sleep. Just nighttime silence was followed by an incessant, nerve-wracking explosions outside. A stubborn fly, as if choosing me as its nighttime victim, ruthlessly disturbed the bed, disturbed the peace. Persistently trying to get into the house, it seemed to be testing my patience. How thin is that window that you can hear a fly flying around outside? Wildlife is attacking me! I got up from the bed and looked out the window at the silhouette of the dark forest swallowed by the night. The stubborn fly incessantly crawled on the glass. I stood watching the insect, feeling anxiety creep over my mind for no apparent reason. Why are we doing this? Knock. Get out! Some flies are pretty hefty. I mean, I've seen some with big flies in my time. Oh no, I upset the flies. Oh no, Beelzebub is coming for me. I've seen some pretty big flies in my time, but I've never heard a fly from outside a window. A fly generally has to be in my home for me to hear it. Anyway, chapter 2. Will I get to use my knife? Can I stab the evil bush in the head, please? My god. This ancient master feels like it was specifically designed to destroy my back. As usual, I woke up drenched in cold sweat, thanks to another stress-induced nightmare. Well, no comfort, but I'm alive. Fair trade, I guess. Outside the window, it was a gray and overcast day. Yeah, it doesn't look like anything good will happen today, but I'm used to that. How to do your morning stretches. His 2 morning stretches. The couch, not a bed. Yeah. I don't know, maybe it's a pull-out and they didn't draw it pulling out. We're supposed to imagine it in the theater of the mind. After stretching a bit, I decided to take a walk around this godforsaken village. I kept thinking about the local store. Hopefully it hasn't closed yet. What time is it? Otherwise I'd have to rely on my childhood survival skills and go stealing apples from abandoned lots. How simple and carefree it would be to wander around looking for dubious food, if not for my current less-than-legal affairs. But who am I without them? I need to stock up on food for a couple of days and see what's going on around here. Maybe I'll run into some locals, get the news, and find out how life has changed in this corner of the world since I was last here. Alrighty. Great. We're gonna go meet the neighbors. It's very easy to lose the, pointer. What is this? Cursor? Invisible! Okay. The early morning, this backwater is wrapped in an eerie calm as if everything here is already dead, not just asleep. Completely invisible. The air is fresh as if it was just washed with fabric softener and cold. It cuts straight to the bone. For July 6th, it was unusually cold, almost jacket weather. Oh, we're like it's almost the right day. Still, there was something about this morning's scenery that momentarily brought back a taste of life. It felt like I was 12 again. I remembered how, as kids, we'd run around here from early morning, darting between houses with a neighbor boy, under the grumbling shouts of old folks and the barking of dogs from other yards. Air. The air filled my lungs and my head even spun slightly from its freshness. The scent of grass and damp earth surrounded me. It felt pleasant. It was unusual to breathe so easily, not as usual with city dust and grime. Walking through the quiet village, I seemed to slow down myself, adapting to its rhythm, its leisurely pace of life. The silence and calm around me unintentionally made me reflect on the past and ponder the future. This guy loves reflecting on the past. I looked at the empty windows and peeling walls. People used to live here, but now everything is crumbling, as if mocking my memories. Now there was only decay and an oppressive sense that the past was irretrievably gone. I was almost at the store when my gaze caught on a house to the left. Once a sweet old lady lived there, a darling granny. She always sat by our house, offering us apples if we could show her where the Big Dipper was in the sky. I feel like that test only really works once. It's generally in the same place, isn't it? Of course, we didn't know where the Big Dipper was and just pointed randomly. Granny didn't seem to care. She gave us apples anyway, chuckling to herself. She wasn't even trying to teach anybody anything. Now her house was already leaning and completely overgrown with bushes. But the apple tree behind the house was still standing. Maybe I should pick a couple of apples for breakfast. At least I'd save some money. Yay, free apples. My stomach was already growling with hunger. It was time to decide where to get food today. To the right was the store where I figured I could grab a bite, assuming there was anything left inside. To the left was an abandoned lot with a crooked fence, behind which the apple tree still stood. I stopped, pondering where to go. Oh boy, a choice? Will stealing apples make the woodland being upset with me? I think maybe I should just go to the shop. It's probably the safe bet. I stopped 5 steps away from the store, which almost looked comically like an island of nostalgia in this forgotten place. Old but sturdy, the peeling grocery sign above the door seemed inviting despite its worn appearance. The windows were intact, and through their cloudy panes you could see shelves and displays filled with something. The building's age didn't seem dilapidated. Instead, it gave it character, speaking of quiet confidence and resilience against time. The air around was filled with the same familiar sense of the village. For a moment, I felt like a kid again, coming to the store for ice cream and a waffle cone. They just sell everything here, I guess. Approach. I get to click on it to open. Oh boy. No! Closed. There has to be someone in the only store in the village. Please. Is anyone here? The sound of my own voice felt deafening in the silence. I kept tugging at the handle, not giving up on opening the door. Let me in! Hey! Someone called out behind me, and I flinched so hard I almost lost my balance. I'm just trying to get into the store. Don't shout at me. Young man, why are you banging on the door? I wasn't. I was pulling on the handle. Door stuck. Sorry, I thought the store was still open. It is open, just no one's inside. Do you need to buy something? That if no one's inside, then it's not open. Yeah, I wanted to see what you've got. Well, come on, I'll show you what we've got. Thanks. I haven't seen you around here before. You a visitor? I nodded in agreement. What's your name? I'm Alexei. I introduced myself a bit awkwardly. Yoshka, huh? You want anything? I gritted my teeth. I hate being called Yoshka. Let's just go with Alexei. Well, Alexei. Name's Stepan. Leptev Stepan Volkovich. Pleased to meet you. I will not be calling you by your full name. I shook hands with my new acquaintance, who seemed to be a local, though I didn't remember him at all. Well, come on. What are you standing around for? Well, you haven't let me into the store yet, so... Stepan took out a bunch of keys, felt around for the right one, and calmly unlocked the store. Followed him inside and found myself in a dark room. Hold on, Alexei, just a second. What's he fiddling with in the dark? Looking for a sturdy stick to kill me with? I'll turn on the light just a moment. We are now on grand finale number 6, or maybe 7. Who knows? Was there like something scary in the background I was supposed to see? I wasn't paying attention. You from the city? Yeah, from Moscow, I muttered reluctantly. I'm not used to sharing personal details with strangers, but Moscow is so huge that this information didn't really mean anything. Oh, really? So what are the young folks in the capital up to these days? Pyrocasm stream. I thought they were finished! I thought I was safe! They started again like right before I started stream! Okay. Do you have a profession at least? I sell drugs. The question was asked with such intensity that for a moment I felt like a schoolboy being called to the principal's office. I'm gonna get in trouble. However, I decided not to dodge and answered with partial truth. Yeah, I studied to be an electrician in college. I smirked to myself. No way I'm telling you about my actual profession. Oh, an electrician. That's a useful trade. You know, my radio here recently stopped working. Maybe you could take a look at it, electrician? I can't pay you for the repair, no money to spare these days, but I'll treat you to some tea. Oh, God, what are they going to tell me about my skills, or will I have to just figure it out myself? What a gig, I thought to myself. I wasn't ready to return to my real problems just yet, so I wasn't in a hurry. And as long as I can remember, fixing various devices always came easily to me. I better not mess this up. I'll ruin his reputation. Nothing too complicated, of course, but I could handle an old radio. I remember back when I was studying to be an electrician, I went to a couple of practical trainings out of pure curiosity. The job wasn't hard, maintenance of apartment building electrical panels. Once I even found a stash that a courier colleague had seemingly hidden quite securely. I glanced at Stepan again, then shifted my gaze to the old radio sitting on the edge of the table. Why not help the old man? The radio is probably one of the few forms of entertainment here. Alright, let me take a look. Yes, it's over there. Go ahead and take a look. I just said I was going to. Look it. I get no choice. I must look it. As I expected, an old radio, clearly made back in the Soviet Union. My grandparents had one like it. I think if I tried, I could probably find it somewhere in their attic. Honestly, I think fixing it shouldn't be too difficult. Let's see what we've got here. A pen. Oh, God. Oh, Jesus. Okay, connect the components. Oh, no. That's a lot of things that have to move around. I don't like that it does that. I haven't been told anything about what any of these things do. Well, I hope this is correct. What on earth is this thing? Okay. Oh, I don't like it. it's complete. Okay. I did it. Alright, sure. Looks like it's ready. Time to test it. Yay, music. Oh, look, it's working. Well, you've got golden hands. A real craftsman, I can tell. You know, this radio isn't just any ordinary one. One time there was a funny story about it. My cat back then, Vazia, little black devil he was, I closed the store and sat down to dinner. Well, sort of. I sat down at the table and gave the cat some soup in his bowl. I'm not sure if cats are supposed to eat soup. I turn on the radio and they're talking about some kind of dance music. I hear Vazia start meowing, and suddenly as the music starts playing, he gets up and starts dancing on his hind legs. I laughed so hard. Later I tried playing music for him again, but he just gave me a lazy look and went to sleep. He was all danced out. Stepan looked at me as if he was gauging my reaction to his story. What do you want from me, brother? I was just sitting there confused. Thank you, Alexei. We won't die of boredom now, that's for sure. It's nothing. I give a crooked smile and spread my hands. Well, as promised, let's go. I'll pour you some tea. Tell me how city folk live these days. I hadn't eaten anything since the morning. The old man seemed nice enough. I figured I wouldn't say no to some tea. I nodded in agreement. Well, that's wonderful. Let's go. Yay, more tea. I'm gonna survive on tea and nothing else. The cat! Walking behind Stepan into another room, I couldn't shake the intrusive image of a cat dancing on its hind leg. There's an achievement in this game for watching the cat dance for like an hour, I think. He's hitting it. Should we sit here for an hour and watch the cat? Okay, sorry, cat. I do think I need to get on with the plot. What? I just got an achievement that said you watched Vasquez. Wait, did I? Wait. I'm opening up. Did it accidentally give me the achievement for watching the cat dance for a full hour? Or did that just show up as like telling me that I could conceivably get that achievement? What was that? Wait, I need to look. Do I have that? It says you spent a long time watching Vasca dance. I didn't think like a minute was a long time. Did I get that? No. Okay, no, it was just informing me that that's an achievement that I can get, I guess. That was weird. Alright. I don't think that's ever happened to me before. The tools hang in a neat row looking more like decorations. It's obvious some haven't been used in ages, the rust and dust speak for themselves. Stepan probably used to do a lot of handiwork back in the day. Alright. Boar taxidermy. A boar stuffed head on the wall. I never understood how anyone could like that. It looks silly with those bulging eyes and exposed tusks. Clear no one's touched it for years. So much dust. Who's this lovely lady? An old photo in a crooked frame, clearly not hung yesterday. Who is she? Probably Stepan's mother or wife. She looked as stern as my college instructor. Bottle with murky liquid. They're doing it again, you guys. Is that moonshine? I thought. It looked like regular village hooch, but with the added bonus of a couple of flies floating inside. Gross! Icky! Disgusting! Licking the bottle made me queasy. Stepan probably forgot about it ages ago. I cautiously surveyed the storage room of the shop. The air was thick with the musty scent of wood, sweet mold, and some kind of pickled goods. Stepan, visibly excited by the unexpected company, set about brewing tea. When do I get to use my knife? Stepan sat down at the table. He looked at me, barely holding back the questions that were about to burst out of him. It was clear that the old man didn't often have guests and was genuinely happy to chat with me. Oh, that's nice. We're friends! So, how do you like it here? Not many folks from the city want it this way. I noticed how Stepan tried to hide his awkward excitement behind a smile. I smiled back, deciding to keep the conversation going. Yeah, it's really different here. Quiet, homely. Cows, goats. Those were the first things that came to mind. You rarely see this kind of thing in the city. Stepan nodded, lost in thought, still holding his cup. So, what brings you here? I paused to think about how to answer him. Obviously, I couldn't tell him I was hiding here from some shady characters who might report me to the cops. I could just say I came to my grandparents' house, or make something up like I'm here to buy a house. I came to visit my grandma's old house. That's not suspicious. I'm here to tidy up my grandparents' house. Which ones? Stefan seemed to ponder, sifting through memories of the remaining elders in this backwater. I decided not to make him guess. They're not here anymore with us. Margarita and Nikolai Pavlov. Like the dogs? Oh, I see. So you're Rita and Kolya's grandson. Is that weird? Oh, they were wonderful people. I can still picture them in their youth. Young folks always flock to the cities, but here in the village, it has its own charms. Rita and Kolya understood that better than anyone. Back in the day, we were really close friends with them. In winter, we sled like crazy, and in spring, some in the garden, others in the fields, from morning till night. And when summer came, everyone relaxed body and soul, Russian banya, fishing, all sorts of summer celebrations. Setting off fireworks. Stefan paused and gave me a piercing look, as if trying to see if I understood what he was talking about. Yeah, I know what fishing is. I'm not, stupid. By the way, today's gonna be one of the most important ones.
Oh boy, what day is it?
Are they gonna sacrifice me to the thing in the woods? The night of July 6th to 7th is Ivan Kapala night, if you didn't know. We loved that holiday when we were young. The soul, as they say, longed for song. We jump over the bonfire and tell all sorts of spooky tales. They said that on Kapala night, devils crawled out of their holes. Yay, I can't wait to meet the devil. In our village, people always believed in all sorts of devilry. We were old believers. They were so scared you couldn't drag them into the woods by their arms and legs on Kapala night. So anyway, I remember one of those nights the whole village was out celebrating. The guys were singing songs and lighting fires, while the girls were, as usual, doing fortune-telling. They'd put flower crowns on their heads and run to the riverbank. They let the crowns float on the water to learn their fate. Wherever it drifted, that's where their groom would come from. If it washed ashore, no wedding that year. Well, that's all just folklore, of course. Your granny Ritka sent her crown down the river, too. Can you believe it? It floated a little and shot forward like Apollo himself was steering it. And right there on the other side was Kolyan. The girl started giggling right away, and Kolyan, clueless as ever, just barely managed to catch Ritka as she jumped into his arms. That same summer, your grandma and grandpa got married. Well, that's sweet. They were good people. Well, never mind. I feel like that's a weird way to end that little story. Anyway, never mind all that stuff I just told you. Stepan's word hung in the silence. Even the wind outside seemed to quiet. The story about my grandma and grandpa, simple yet so vivid, really struck me. I'd seen them in old photos, younger, happier than I remembered. Were they really like that, jumping over bonfires, wearing flower crowns? I suddenly felt a strange bitterness, realizing how little I actually knew about them. What would they say about me now? The thought planted itself deep, but I quickly brushed it aside to avoid diving further. Stepan let out a heavy sigh and continued. You know, Alexei, in our village, sometimes it's like a fairy tale, I'd say. Okay, why are you being scary at me, Stepan? But not always the kind with a happy ending. So you'd better be careful around here. Okay, I'll try not to make the ghouls angry at me. I tensed up and raised an eyebrow, not hiding my surprise. What do you mean? Well, you see. I don't see. It's getting dark. A couple of years ago, a family moved here from Moscow. They said they were looking for peace, quiet, and tranquility. So they arrived with 2 young sons in tow. And those rascals found no better pastime than to turn the whole village upside down. Every night their revelry made a racket like a festival, but there was no joy in it. We tried talking to them nicely, but they couldn't care less. So anyway, one Kapala night they decided to have their own kind of fun. They dragged some girl from a neighboring village and headed to the river through the forest, where even locals hesitate to tread during the day. They probably thought they'd find magic in our forests, or whatever you city folk are after. Night passed, and by morning they were nowhere to be found. The police searched the whole forest with dogs, but only found the girl by nightfall. They said she was scared to death, couldn't speak, just muttered and babbled incoherently. As for the boys, all that was left were a couple of bloody scraps of clothing. It was like the earth had swallowed them whole. And who's in the spooky river? The district officer told me back then that those punks probably got the girl drunk and wanted to violate her. They dragged her into the forest, but no one could figure out what happened to them after that. They tried questioning the girl, but she couldn't say anything then or later. Her eyes kept darting around, and she just kept mumbling something endlessly. So they couldn't figure out anything back then. The investigation concluded later that, apparently, some forest beasts had mauled them. And to calm the villagers, they made our forester, Petrovich, set up traps in the forest to keep the beasts away from the homes. What a lovely story. Thanks, Stepan. I listened to Stepan's story with some tension. This was nothing like my grandmother's fairy tales. But somewhere deep in my subconscious, the image of BANEBUSH emerged, and my imagination instinctively tied the events to him. So he's a good guy, actually. After all, encountering him in the forest years ago had convinced me that some fairy tales don't lie. We started off our lovely little tea conversation with, "Oh, here's how your grandparents met. Also, did you hear about the horrible death?" I brushed the thought aside and asked the first question that popped into my head. Maybe the Leshy took them. Oh, he liked that. Maybe the Leshy took them, or maybe it was the beasts. That's for each person to decide what to believe and what to think. And the investigation will decide for itself what to write in the report. I think I've heard enough local tales for today. I need to focus on figuring out how to solve my own problems. Time to head home. Stefan Wolfovich, thanks for the tea and the talk. I should get going. I want to tidy up the house. Ah, yes, of course. Go ahead. Thanks again for fixing the radio. No problem. If you need anything, feel free to drop by. What was that? Here, take some bagels. Have them with tea. My treat. Okay, sure. Yay, bagels. I'm going to eat nothing but bagels and tea. Without much thought, I grabbed the bag of bagels from the table. I didn't want to refuse and disappoint the old man. Besides, I originally came here for food. Thank you. Goodbye. Stepan kept beaming his trademark smile. I smiled back at him and stepped outside. Yay! We made friends. I'm gonna choose to ignore the spooky little flickering lights thing that he did.
The cat. May I speak with you, the cat?
What's up, Vaska? Had your fill of roaming? Well, come on in. What are you standing there for? Okay, bye. Bye, cat. Well, that was quite the trip for some bread. I slightly scolded myself for spending the whole day listening to the strange old man's stories instead of tackling my real problems. Well, what are you supposed to do about your real problems? I thought you were just hiding from gang members. The stories were interesting, but I had to return to grim reality. As I approached my new home, I was already anticipating flopping onto the creaky prehistoric bed with a contented look on my face. But it seemed fate had other plans. In front of my house stood an old Lada 2108, and I could make out 3 familiar faces inside. Oh boy, my good friends. Cuss! It was Pasha Foman and his goons, Vazia, and the third one that I can't remember the name of. Hey boys, how's it going? It's fancy meeting you here. Well, hello there, villager. Hey. I replied, trying to hide my tension. Oh, I'm screwed. So, what the hell are you doing here, Alyosha? You know how much of a hassle it was to drag ourselves out of this backwater? How'd you even find me? Shut your mouth and listen! Okay, man, sorry. Gee, I was just asking you a question. It would work longer, and honestly, maybe you'd have thought to shove your work SIM card somewhere safe. And Denise knew the house registered to you. I should have turned off my phone! Why didn't they give me the option to turn off my phone? They've trapped me in this situation, video game, against my will. So, we promote you and send you on a big job, and this is how you thank us, running off with our stuff? You know exactly what happens to smartasses like that. Oh my, I had nothing to do with this. While I was transporting the stuff, some guys cut me off in a car and robbed me at gunpoint, took all your stuff. What? You seriously think I'm that stupid? Oh my, I've always done my job honestly. This looks like a setup to me. Maybe you sent those guys yourselves and you're not trying to screw me over. Are you kidding me? Stop yelling! This is a nice, quaint, happy little town. Who are you questioning right now? You think it's hard for me to kill you and bury you in this backwater? I'm gonna send the wood monster after you. No one's ever gonna find you, you idiot. I'm not trying to act tough, Foman. Calm down. How am I supposed to get you the stuff I don't have? I don't care. Do whatever you want. Get further, poop it out. What does that mean? The situation was escalating. Yeah, man, it sure is. I clenched my jaw, feeling my racing pulse pounding in my temples. fight back. I felt the boiling rage building inside me. I don't know, maybe the forest guy doesn't like people yelling. If I just kill these guys with my knife, then surely it'll be fine, right? My hand instinctively reached for the hilt of the old knife. Get him! Get him! With my one knife against 3 guys. Don't come closer. I thought he was just gonna like laugh at me. Are you kidding me? Ouch, my nose. No. Sudden punch to my nose sent me crawling to the ground. The knife didn't help much against the bandits. Thanks, achievement. I figured. Foxy, grab his knife before he hurts someone. Make sure the goods are with me by morning. If you bail, I'll kill you. Got it? Okay. Well, that didn't go so well. The sound of the departing car's engine started the countdown. Probably should have saved before I tried to stab him with that knife. Oh well. Great hiding spot, Alyosha, I sarcastically praised myself. Now what? What if I sell the house and use the money to buy drugs to replace the lost shipment? No, selling the house is a hassle. Finding a buyer would take forever, and at best I'd get $100 grand out of it. Running isn't an option. They'll find me again, and then I'm really screwed. Just turn off your phone, moron. What do I do now? In despair, I grabbed my head. I wanted to tear out my hair, scream, break something, but none of that would help. The helplessness was driving me insane. I think it's time to summon demons about it. If the world turns its back on you, go to the forest. There you'll find either salvation or death. The forest is honest. I suddenly remembered my grandmother's words as clearly as if her voice were speaking right next to me. What a thing to say to a child. If you ever feel sad and lonely, go into the forest and either everything will be okay or you'll die. Don't worry, little Timmy. What if Grandma was right? What if there's really something out there? I saw it in that forest as a kid, I remember. If BANEBUSH is really there, he'll either kill me outright or help me. If I'm screwed anyway, what difference does it make? There was always something strange about this place. The old folk stories, the vanished people, the whispers in the forest. I looked out the window. Who's gonna jump scare me tonight? The forest is honest, I kept repeating to myself, staring at the dark grove. Going there was madness, yes, but at least I'd have some kind of chance. There's no other way. I certainly can't leave town and turn off my phone. The easiest thing to do is just go looking for demons in the woods. A few minutes into the journey, and the trees closed in around me as if blocking my path. Stepping forward was terrifying, but staying still was even worse. Alright, into the forest I go. Chapter 3. I hope I don't get eaten by wolves. Clouds, almost completely hidden by the dense canopy of trees, hovered over the endless forest expanse. Moss soaked with moisture spread underfoot like a soft carpet, muffling the sound of footsteps. The air, rich with the scent of soil and decaying leaves, was damp and heavy, settling in my lungs and clouding my mind. The whisper of leaves, the occasional snap of twigs underfoot, and the distant cries of birds created the illusion of another dimension. Here I felt like an insignificant human, an uninvited guest. Are they gonna make me choose directions again? Thoughts about my past life slowly filled my mind. The endless struggle for money in a quiet corner of the metropolis, where each new day brought new challenges. The life of a dealer, full of fear and the constant threat of disaster, poisoned the soul, exposing its flaws. I didn't even notice how I became a paranoid person who, on any ordinary evening, expected someone to break into my house. My imagination painted the faces of people whose lives were poisoned by my dealings, their eyes filled with desperate bitterness. Here in the depths of the forest, all my past felt like a burden dragging me to the ground. The realization that I had dug my own grave. Well, that's comforting. It's unfair. Why do I have to seek salvation now among these trees and darkness? What will the BANEBUSH do if I find him? If the stories are true, he wasn't entirely merciless. After all, he didn't kill the girl from Stepan's story, who naively trusted the thugs from the capital. Maybe this BANEBUSH only helped the innocent. In that case, this isn't gonna end well for me. If that's the case, I'm screwed. You and me, buddy. On the same wavelength. Can't wait to get eaten by a bush. Thoughts about the BANEBUSH and his possible protection no longer brought comfort. He only plunged me into new terror. What if he's not an ally at all, but another threat far scarier than any city gangsters? What if I just die here? I don't even know what's worse, surrendering to the cops or venturing into the forest at night to find the Leshy. What a mess. Probably getting lost in the woods and dying is worse than just going to the police and being in prison. At least then you, like, have a safe-ish cell to sleep in and you get fed. I ventured deeper into the forest, which had already turned into a trap. I felt like I was in the jaws of a giant rabid dog, which were gradually closing, leaving less and less space to breathe. Every rustle, every creak of a branch made my heart skip a beat in fear. I remembered again how my grandmother, sitting by the stove, would quietly tell me her stories. Remember, Lyosha, the forest always watches, she would say, looking straight into my eyes. It knows all your thoughts, senses fear from a mile away, feeds on it. Now her words echoed in my head like a warning. Just don't be scared, idiot. Having lost track of time and distance traveled, I tried to suppress the fear within. Suddenly, the deep silence of the forest was pierced by a plaintive howl. I froze. My heart began pounding twice as hard, threatening to burst out of my chest. Dude, calm down! Holding my breath, I tried to pinpoint where the sorrowful sound was coming from. The howl came again, more insistent this time, as if beckoning me. My heart pounded louder in my chest. He's just gonna have, like, a heart attack. The monster's not even gonna get to him. An inner voice insistently whispered, wandering aimlessly through the forest, won't get me anywhere. It just keeps happening, you guys. Obeying the call, I started moving, slowly drawing closer to the source of the sound with each step. Oh no, the wolf! I pushed through the thicket and emerged onto a clearing bathed in pale moonlight. And there, in the moonlight, quivered the figure of a large black wolf. We gotta help the dog! The trap had sunk deeply and mercilessly into one of its paws. Whimpering in pain and trembling in a hunched position, the wolf no longer tried to free itself. Its gaze, filled with suffering, pierced me. The animal seemed to hope for my help. Well, what a quest, I thought. I stood frozen, unable to steady the tremble in my hands as my emotions feverishly jumped from pity to fear. Gathering the remnants of my composure, I approached the wolf. May I assist the animal? I examined the trap and immediately realized it couldn't be opened with bare hands. A thin, sharp tool was needed to access the lock. Well, I have a knife. Maybe it's for the best, I thought. Who knows what might happen if I were to free this wolf? What do you mean? I have my... Oh, they stole my knife. Curses! I shouldn't have pulled my knife. Now I'm gonna get in trouble with the Leshy. Dang it! Consequences for my actions. Sorry, friend, I can't help you. Trembling from tension, I muttered aloud and quickly backed away. Alright, well, next time I guess I have to not pull my knife on the men who are menacing me. Sure, I felt sorry for the wolf, but I came here to help myself. I can't wait to get eaten by the bush then, I guess. I guess that's the ending I'm getting. My hide's worth more to me. I firmly pushed away unnecessary thoughts and kept wandering aimlessly. Idiot! Stupid! I was tired. My steps grew clumsy and my thoughts tangled like the interwoven branches above, but I kept walking. Oh, hey man, what's up? So, okay, I know he's like spooky, but he just did like the little, like the gay hand flip. Is he, you know? Curses! I stumbled onto a clearing and barely had time to look around when a tall, twisted figure appeared among the trees. I froze in another wave of terror. There wasn't a single sound around, only my heart pounding with all its strength. A creature resembling a twisted human watched me, extending a hand in my direction. My sanity slipped further away, sinking along with my courage. For a while, I watched the silhouette that had frightened me, but it remained motionless. Gay forest creature, don't hurt him. Zesty creatures of the dark. He's a little... Well, he is a tree, so he's a little fruity. Okay, for a while I watched the silhouette that had frightened me, but it remained motionless. I like how I've completely taken the spook out of this, because my first thought was that he did a little gay hand motion. Alright. I slowly moved a bit closer. Jump scare me! Do it! What is that? Is that a mushroom? Stay. Calm. Don't freak out! When I finally dared to approach, it became clear it was just a tree stump. Everything's fine. A nervous chuckle escaped my chest, futilely attempting to shake off the tension. I looked closer at the unnaturally twisted tree trunk. On one of the branches, resembling an outstretched arm, hung a fly agaric mushroom. Its crimson hue reminded me of a cigarette ember glowing in the dark. Well, I'm already making plenty of bad decisions, so I assume I'll be allowed to eat it. Question echoed in my mind. How could it possibly end up on the branch, as if someone had hung it there just for me? Yeah, the forest seemed especially full of hints today. Am I supposed to eat it? I mean, probably not. It's poisonous, but since we're making bad decisions. Unexpectedly for myself, I shouted out loud. My voice echoed through the forest and faded away without receiving an answer. That is so a creature doing a zesty little hand motion. Sure, man. Let's be stupid. You got an achievement for eating it. Yummy. And then I fall to the ground and start writhing. What a nice little dance he's doing for me. Alright, night-night. The bitterness of the fly agaric slid down my throat, its pulp reaching the walls of my stomach. And then I died. The taste of earth and a bittersweet slice of the forest filled my insides. My consciousness slowly dissolved, and the images of trees blurred before my eyes. I wandered aimlessly through the forest, feeling each step reverberate as a pulse in my skull. The tree canopies closed above my head, their rustling growing louder and merging into a swarm of unnatural, oppressive sounds. The ground beneath my feet felt soft and damp like living flesh, while roots writhed, trying to entangle my legs. Hey! Someone yelled at me from the darkness, forcing me to stop abruptly. My head spun so much that I didn't realize when I had already turned toward the sound. Yeah, man, what's up? How's it going? Oh god, it's this guy! Behind the trees, familiar figures began to emerge. Baring their teeth, they grinned predatorily at me as if I were prey. It's not tomorrow yet! What the heck, rat? Trying to lay low in the woods? I'll grind you to the dirt with this whole farm! We'll tear you apart and fertilize the ground with your guts, got it? Now, we'll slice you up so every beast in this forest gets a piece. And you'll howl like a beaten mud. I heard their voices, vile and hoarse, creeping through the thicket. Each sound turned into a burning ember, painfully melting my brain. Oh, my brain! These creatures weren't human. I hated them. Why can't I talk today? I'm going insane. These creatures weren't human. I hated them to the point of trembling, to the icy venom coursing through my veins. It's turning into an orc. Freaking jerks! All these games want me to curse so bad. I screamed and broke into a run, zigzagging between the trees, just to stop seeing their faces. Dude, you're hyperventilating. You're gonna pass out. I ran for a long time, and when my lungs started burning from within, slowed to a walk. The feeling of an alien presence didn't go away. The shadows of the trees moved in sync with my steps, and I felt deep within that someone or something was always watching me from the depths of the thicket. Peering into the darkness, I saw my grandmother. Hi, Grandma. How's it going, Grandma? Grandma, you're looking spooky today. I wanted to rush forward and hug her, but her face, distorted in a horrifying way, suddenly spoke in a quiet, raspy voice. Once a cowardly boy decided to run away from his troubles. He ventured into the depths of the forest to seek out the Leshy and ask for help. That night, inhuman screams could be heard from the other side of the forest. And what happened to him, Grandma?
Just listen! And then she slowly tore that beak apart while he was still wheezing, and the wolves were feasting on whatever fell to the ground.
Grandma, I don't like this bedtime story, Grandma. Can we read Cinderella? I wandered recklessly through the dark thicket, sometimes walking, sometimes breaking into a run without regard for the path. I was lost in time and space. He's actually just really high and running around in circles. My consciousness was being crushed from within, and my legs trembled so much I could barely move them. Very good grandma voice acting, thanks. The sounds of the forest merged into a quiet whisper, creating a single vibration. Suddenly, from all sides, a heavy, creaky voice sounded. Why did you come to me? Help! They want to kill me! That's not an answer to my question. My plea sounded pathetic, my voice trembled, and my breath came in ragged gasps. The forest was silent. Everything around grew quiet except for the occasional drops of dew falling from the branches to the ground. These were the tears of other losers who had come here like me and couldn't make it back. The voice crackled again. You're not the first to come to me. Many have sought salvation among my trees. Did they find it? My words dissolved into the air, and the forest only listened intently, in no hurry to answer. It's alive. The wind was its breath, its heart beat to the rhythm of a woodpecker's strikes. Its roots intertwined as veins, and millions of worms streamed as blood beneath the earth.
You've gone where neither your feet nor your soul should venture. Here, blood soaks into the roots more easily than rain.
Just kill me already. The forest answered me with a rustle that sounded like laughter. The hairs on the backs of my neck stood on end.
No one leaves here in one piece.
What are you talking about? What do you want? You just, like, cut off one of my limbs or something, dude. I've had a rough night.
The ghoul.
Or just some guy. That looks a little bit more like some guy than a ghoul. Who's to say? Ew, an old person! Standing before me was not the monster I had expected to see. He resembled an old man with a thin, twisted body like dry roots, and his skin was cracked like wood scorched by lightning. His eyes burned with a crimson fire, like embers in a dying campfire. His clothing was nothing more than rotting rags, except for a tattered red polka-dot scarf on his arm. How cute. A black hollow gaped in his forehead, resembling the rotted cavity of a tree oozing thick, dark sludge. Gross. It dripped onto the ground, its stench so overpowering it took my breath away. My stomach climbed toward my throat, the air around me filled with the stench of decay, and it became hard even to swallow. I stood rooted to the spot, jaw slack, staring at the Leshy until his voice jolted me awake.
The eye.
What?
Your eye worm.
Which one?
A vile soul, but a sharp eye. If you found me...
When it dawned on me what he meant, my legs buckled and my vision darkened. Nausea rose in my throat and I barely held back the urge to vomit. Maybe you need something else? Dude, don't be a weenie. It's only one eye. For the question, a pathetic attempt to bargain with the ancient forest spirit. I wanted to bolt and run, but my legs seemed rooted to the ground, leaving me unable to move.
An eye or your life. Choose.
Alright, I guess I'll take the eye then. Pay. Do I have to, like, rip it out with my own fingies, or are you gonna do it for me? Okay, no, I have to do that. That's my job. My hands jerked towards my face. The will to live tore me apart, screaming like a wounded animal, drowning out even the terror of what was about to happen. I could already feel his sharp, thorn-like fingers digging into my eye socket. Okay, no, he's gonna do it for me. Thanks, man. I appreciate it. I wanted to scream, to beg a god I never believed in, but the words stuck in my throat. All that remained was trembling and an all-consuming horror coursing through my veins. My mind simply refused to believe what was happening, but I had already made my choice. I stood there unable to make a sound and silently nodded in agreement until fear snapped me back. Ouchie! Are you gonna call an ambulance for me, or am I gonna bleed out here from my eye socket? The pain was unbearable. The world around me exploded in red light. It felt as if a red-hot hook was driven into my eye socket and started pulling. I heard a squelching sound like when something wet is torn away from something sticky. I felt nerves and veins tearing, the pulsating eyeball being wrenched from my skull. Ew, ew, ew! Warm streams of blood ran down my cheek, filling my nose and mouth, choking me with its metallic, nauseating taste. Through the veil of pain, I heard the screams of the creatures that brought me here. Their gut-wrenching cries, steeped in primal terror, pierced the forest. One of them screamed as if being torn apart from within. His voice broke into a rasp, replaced by a gurgling wet sound, as though his lungs had turned to bloody pulp. Someone squealed like a pig at the slaughter, interrupted by the crunch of bones and tearing flesh. See, man, you got off easy. You just took one eye. I lay there listening to the Leshy tear these bastards apart, their lives fading one by one. At first I wanted to cover my ears, but then I couldn't. I enjoyed hearing it. My lips stretched into a smile on their own, and my chest felt empty and light. I laughed loudly. You got a weird laugh, man. 3 weeks later. I guess I was okay then. I didn't need that eye that bad. Oh. Am I in the doctor's office? Okay. I have to enter. I have no choice. Look. Ministry of Internal Affairs of the Russian Federation. Case number 707. Alright.
Look, it's me! I think.
Okay. Can I move stuff? No, I didn't read it. Wait. Dang it! I thought I could like move the photo, and I clicked and it took it away from me. Oh well. I guess. Oh wait, no endings gallery. Can I look at it from here? Okay, I can. Ooh, there's a lot of endings. Okay, criminal case, committee of the Russian Federation. Just haven't even know Pyotr Sergeyevich, murder of Alexei Tikhonovich. Article 105 of the Criminal Code of the Russian Federation, murder of 2 or more persons. Blah blah blah. 2:30 p.m. Following a report from the resident of Volk. Blah blah blah. Laptop Stepan Volkovich. A patrol team arrived at. Blah blah blah. Showing signs of violent death. Vasily Alex. Pavel Ivanovich Fomin and Mikhail something. All the deceased exhibited multiple stab wounds. At some distance from the crime scene, Alexei Tikhonovich Smirnov was found unconscious with a severe injury, his eye missing. According to an initial medical examination, Smirnov was under the influence of hallucinogenic mushrooms. A thorough examination of the crime scene was conducted, including photographing, fingerprint collection, and nothing else. Expertise results. It was determined that all victims died as a result of multiple stab wounds inflicted by sharp objects, presumably wooden stakes, between 4 and 9 a.m. on July 7th. Fingerprints belonging to Smirnov were found on the bodies. Personal belongings of the deceased at the crime scene. Blood traces leading from the victims' bodies to the location where Smirnov was discovered matches blood type. A suspected murder weapon in the form of a sharpened fragment. Psychiatric evaluation. A forensic psychiatric evaluation discerned that Smirnov was legally insane at the time of the crime. Based on collected evidence, witness statements, the defendant's confession, and the results of the psychiatric evaluation, Smirnov Alexei Tikhonovich is to be committed to compulsory treatment in a psychiatric prison. Yay! There's a lot of things. Okay. Can I load from here? I think this was my dream. Literally the only time that I saved. Okay. I'm lost. Let's just go straight a bunch. I'm not actually sure if this affects anything at all. That's what I'm gonna actually save my knife this time. And, like, not an idiot. Okay. Okay, the forest, etc. What does skip do? Eek! Okay. I had my spooky encounter. That's a lot of noise. They're playing every noise at me all at once. Does skip just keep playing the noise? Okay, no, I'm not hearing my screaming teapot. Okay. What a little creep. Alright. What is skip gonna do? It makes so much noise all at once. The bird? There's nothing outside, just the yard as usual. Okay. It skipped me specifically so that I was allowed to watch the jump scare again. I love that he just throws his phone. Are you flying, you crazy bird? Anyway. Let's look at the flies again. Bye-bye, flies. Oh, no. I have to knock on it. Bye-bye. Let's do everything that we did last time and just save the wolf. Approach. Skip everything again? Okay, no, I have to try and open it. I'm required by law to try and open it. Come on. Open it. Alright. Oh god. Oh no, I think I have to do the radio. Can I skip the radio? No, I cannot. Ah, not the radio! Okay. Well, let's see if I can do that successfully. Okay, I don't remember which way anything went. I'm thinking about it now. I shouldn't be thinking about it. Oh wait, this. Eek. Oh god. I I don't remember what I did last time. Oh man. Okay, what's not connecting the way that it's supposed to? How did I do it last night? I don't even remember. Oh no. Oh wait, there is a skip. Oh, I can just skip it. Yeah, I totally did it. I totally did that correctly. Don't even worry about it. Okay. Whew. Whew. It works. I did it. I did it correctly, all on my own. It keeps informing me that I could watch Vasca dance for an hour if I really wanted to. Skip past all of his stupid old man stories. Who cares? I just have to remember not to attack anyone with my knife, and we should be good. I'll stay silent. If I give them the silent treatment, they'll go away. I want the stuff in my hands by morning. Try to run, you won't be able to walk anymore. Well, except to pee and poop yourself. Got it, Alyosha? Got it. Naturally. Now they think I'm a weenie! Sound of the departing car's engine started the countdown. Perhaps I should save again. Those jerks. I hate them. They're horrible. Okay, can I save? Okay. Just clicking. Can't sell the house. What do I do? Okay. Was there a decision here, or was I forced to go into the woods no matter what? I think I was forced to go into the woods. Alright, I'll go die in the woods. Thanks, Grandma, for the advice. But Grandma was right. Okay. Let's go. Let's go. Let's go. Let's go. Let's save the wolf. We can do it. I gotta be kind to my fellow creatures. There's no other way. Okay. Show me the wolf. Chapter 3. Imagine nothing even changes. I don't think I'll get any new lore. Where's the wolf? Show me the wolf. Yay! Beast greeted me with a weak growl, full of pain and warning. Fear gripped me tightly, paralyzing my movements, but I gathered the last shreds of courage and decided to act. Alright, opening this trap barehanded isn't going to work. Good thing I kept the knife with me. Yay. Open. Do I have to do an opening minigame? Did I do it? My sweat-drenched hands barely held onto the knife as it slipped off the trap's mechanism. The wolf jerked its paw and snapped its teeth, and I recoiled, barely maintaining my balance. Both sides looked at me with a mix of pain and human-like understanding, sending a chill down my spine. I'm sorry I couldn't click fast enough, man. I need to pull myself together and try again. Okay. I did it! Ah, don't shout at me! Why are you angry? I didn't even do anything! Curses! Curses! Stupid wolf! Why'd I even approach it? I was only trying to be nice! I ran feeling like prey being hunted like by a predator, because I was. Last time I ran like this was as a kid in the same forest, fleeing BANEBUSH. I leapt over roots, scraped myself on bushes, and caught dry branches across my face. I didn't know if the wolf was chasing me, but I didn't even think of stopping to check. It seems I dropped the knife near the trap in fear, and if I encounter the rabid wolf, I'll be unarmed. You don't know if he's rabid. I like his little up and down walking animation. At full speed, I ran to a clearing and barely caught my breath when a tall, twisted figure appeared among the trees. I rose in another wave of terror, praying that the wolf had fallen behind and wouldn't sink its teeth into my back. There wasn't a single sound around, only my heart pounding with all its strength. A creature resembling a twisted human watched me, extending a hand in my direction. My sanity slipped further away, sinking along with my courage. Okay, I'm gonna have to save before it gives me the mushroom. We'll do a mushroom run and a not mushroom run. I slowly moved a bit closer. They're just like randomly setting off explosions now. Stay calm. Okay. Mushroom time! Yay, mushrooms! Woo, mushrooms! Okay, come on, give me the mushroom. Gimme. Eat it! Delicious. It's a really gross noise. Close your mouth when you chew, dude. You don't have to do it like that. Mushrooms aren't, like, wet enough for you to be making all those mouth sounds. I love the little wiggle. The bitterness of the fly agaric slid down my throat as well piercing the walls of my stomach. The taste of earth and bittersweet slice of the forest filled my insides. My consciousness slowly dissolved and images of trees blurred before my eyes. Who am I gonna kill this time? I wandered aimlessly through the forest, feeling each step reverberate as the pulse of my skull. The tree canopies closed above my head, the rustling growing louder, emerging into a swarm of unnatural, oppressive sounds. The ground beneath my feet felt soft and damp like living flesh, while roots writhed, trying to entangle my legs. I am no longer worried about the wolf. Hey. Oh god, it's these guys again. They were lying to me about giving me time. Yeah. They shouldn't immediately assume that I'm trying to lay low in the woods. What if I was taking a shortcut to get more drugs? You don't know, there could be a drug dealer in here. Alright. Am I killing them? Do I kill them this time as well, or... Screamed and broke into a run, zigzagging between the trees, just to stop seeing their faces. Grandma, save me, Grandma! Help me, Grandma! Please! I ran for a long time, and my lungs started burning, slowed to a walk. Shadows of the trees moved to my steps, etc., etc. Yay, Grandma! It's so nice to see you again. Okay. Enter the depths of the forest. Yeah, I know. Listen. I'm doing my best here. Yeah. I'm gonna get eaten by the wolf. For real this time. It's like these breathing sounds are making me anxious. Right, I was lost in time and space, my consciousness being crushed from within. Sounds of the forest merged into a whisper. Yay, creepy old man time. My favorite. Can I skip to my choice? I guess we'll pay again. Let's see. Oh. Skip directly. Is it just gonna give me the same ending again? I helped the wolf, though. Does that change anything? This case number 707. Is that the same? No, it's still murder! Okay, I guess if I take the mushroom, I just murder immediately. How rude. Okay. Yes, I'll load. Okay, no mushroom. No. Do not eat strange poisonous mushrooms. No, that's too dumb even for me. I don't want to experience the full spectrum of forest hallucinations. For a moment I imagined collapsing here among the trees only to be found by locals, dead or foaming at the mouth. I grimaced and turned away. Now surely nothing bad will happen. Forest stretched endlessly, a labyrinth of identical tree trunks. I'd been wandering for hours, glancing at random landmarks, but none of them seemed familiar. At some point I decided to go back to where I'd seen the mushroom, but I couldn't even find that spot. It seemed as if the mushroom and the strange branch had vanished into thin air, leaving only a sense of anger and helplessness. What a mess, I muttered, leaning against a tree to catch my breath before moving on. As the darkness slowly faded, the shadows that had terrified me disappeared one by one, taking the last echoes of fear with them. Yay, good morning. With every passing minute, the urge to get out of here grew as strong as my frustration with this failed and downright stupid plan. My legs carried me back to the village, even though every cell in my body screamed that nothing good awaited me there. The forest I thought would save me turned out to be as empty as my stupid plan. What did I expect? That the Leshy would step out from behind a bush, pat me on the shoulder, and say, "Don't worry, pal, I'll take care of your debts." Funny. Even if those tales had any truth, I clearly wasn't their hero. Great walk, I thought, mentally tallying up all the mistakes that had led me here. My head buzzed and my thoughts darted around, offering no clear solution. They were probably already waiting for me in the village. Those guys didn't leave loose ends, and I looked like the loosest. Couldn't even hide properly. There was only one option. Go back and hope they'd at least listen to me before finishing me off. After some time, pushing through dense bushes, I emerged into a small clearing not far from the village. Oh, hey, it's dem boys. Who would have doubted? I smirked, eyeing the nasty faces that had apparently been waiting for me all night. Desperate urge to retreat back into the thicket flashed through my mind, but it was too late. They'd spotted me. Bowman lifted his head and stared straight at me. Can the Leshy get you for being mean to me? Good morning, Alyosha. Bowman began with a nasty smirk. What, couldn't manage to hide? The only thing I was more tired of than wandering the forest was making excuses to them. Didn't manage to. I replied indifferently. Yeah, just kill me, whatever. I had a rough night. Might as well. Are you stupid? Bowman raised his voice, clearly enraged by my misplaced calm. We trusted you and you screwed us over. Where's the stuff, Alyosha? Bowman, seriously, listen. I don't have your drugs. You're pressuring the wrong guy. Instead of hassling me here, you should be looking for those guys who stole your stuff from me. I remember what they look like. I remember their car. Maybe you should get to work. Get a job, Bowman. Shut up! Bowman didn't let me finish. You really think you could screw us over? Asking you one last time. Where the hell is my stuff? I don't know! I've got nothing! Frick you! You fricking frick! Oh my god, is it my friend? Yay! No! No! Every emotion all at once! Where did this muck come from? Oh, if I know. Bowman, you okay? Pretty shitty, bleeding out. Misha, grab the first aid kit from the trunk. And why'd you kill this dumbass? We told you we needed to scare him and shake him down for money. What are we supposed to do with him now? Just forget it. We'll leave him here. The animals will finish him. Well, thanks, Wolf, I guess. Fine, screw it. Get in the car and let's get out of here. Well, at least I know that the wolf cared about me. I lay in the dirt, feeling the ground beneath me grow colder. Beside me, the wolf's lifeless body lay still. The sky loomed gray like dirty glass, and all I could do was stare at it as the pain began to fade. Everything flashed before my eyes. Noisy days, random faces, big and stupid plans. It all seemed so pathetic now. To trade a life for a couple of mess-ups, someone would probably find it funny. I'd laugh too if it weren't for the burning cold that had already reached my chest. Well, that didn't go as well as I hoped. My life was fading away, pooling with my blood on this cursed clearing. Darkness finally consumed me. The last thing left was the heavy silence of the forest reclaiming its place. I died in the forest with the wolf. Yay, what an achievement. I have completed 2 endings as well. Yay, woo! The end. Alright. Let's see what else I can get. How many are there? There are 6. Unless they're gonna spring a secret second page on me. Let's... What if I do one where I don't save the wolf and also don't take the mushroom? Let's see. Let's go into the forest. It feels like rude to skip. The game gives you the option to skip so that you can like quickly see all the endings, but I still feel rude, even though I've read everything before, and it would be annoying to read it twice. I'm just fast forwarding through the parts of the movie I don't care about. Okay. Let's get on with it, brother. Bye-bye. No, I haven't completely lost my mind to die at the fangs of a wild beast just yet. I stepped back and, turning my back on the wolf, trudged onward. Sure, I felt sorry for the wolf, but I came here to help myself. Right. Let's not take our shroom. Don't do drugs, kids. Alright. Let's get on with it. Where's his stuff? That really skipped quite a bit. I've got nothing. I lost it. All the rage and fear compressed into one move, the knife was suddenly in my hand. Yay! The return of the knife! Oh, get him! The achievement is called That Hurt. They just shot me anyway. Don't bring a knife to a gun. Also, that probably wouldn't have, like, killed him. That would just hurt really bad. I just got him through the cheek. Bowman, you okay? Get in the car and let's get out of here. I died alone. No wolf friend. I lay in the dirt, feeling the ground beneath me grow colder. The sky loomed grey like dirty glass, and all I could do was stare at it as the pain began to fade. Everything flashed before my eyes. Great. Now I don't even have a friend while I die. Just me and nobody. Alright. Bye-bye. I died alone in the forest. Kind of expected something else to happen, but I guess that works. The end. Right, what other things can we do? I might have to do a new game. Because... yeah, what is my saturation? I want to see what happens if I don't have the knife at all. Does that do anything? Does that change stuff? Yeah, whatever, Grandma. I'm busy. Okay. Let's just enter the house. No looking around. Alright. Gotta start up my tea. Let's go left this time. Let's just go left 3 times until we're not in the forest anymore. Or not. Yeah, let's go right. Straight. Does it matter which way you go at all? Possibly not. I feel like this is taking more clicks. What if I just keep going left and right? I actually just pace. Alright, I don't think it actually matters which direction you go, it just takes longer to see the guy. Going straight up right once once. Well, there's no gay direction. It's not Pride Month anymore, is it? Wait. Is it? I don't remember. Isn't that June? It's Pride Month plus 4. Are you going straight in the woods? Anyway. Yeah. The forest. Anyway, get jump scared, idiot. Yeah. I like that his reaction to waking up from a nightmare is just to say yeah. Come on. Jump scare me. Jump scare me. Do it, bird. Thank you, bird. What a collection of images that is. These are probably someone turned to the red filter in the trees. It's not healthy for them. Trees are upset. They're all covered in gross tree blood. Right. Knock. Oh, Beelzebub! Oh, look, my cursor fits perfectly over the flies. Hey. Alright. Anyway. Oh, the apple tree as well. Wait, fine, we'll go to the apple tree. Let's make multiple new decisions so that I get confused next time I have to go for another ending. The plot of land looked abandoned up close, windows covered in murky stains, trash scattered in places in the garden overgrown with dense thickets. It seemed no one had set foot here for years. Right in front of the fence stood an apple tree, probably the same one that the funny old lady used to pick apple spores from. Despite the overall neglect of the plot, the tree looked beautiful and lush. Some branches even had something growing on them already. Yay! stepped closer, treading carefully on the ground, glancing around furtively. I mean, it's not like it's a tree. Nobody owns the tree. Nobody lives in the house anymore. I'm sure you could take a fruit and nobody would kill you over it. Nobody that isn't like an evil forest spirit, I guess. Crooked fence with its rotten boards seemed to plead, "Don't touch me," but I wasn't planning to stop. The apple. On one of the upper branches, I spotted an apple, seemingly almost ripe, yellow with a slight red blush. I don't know, it looks pretty red to me. It's pretty high. Hope I don't fall. But since I'm already here, there's no turning back. Climb. And then I fall and break my neck and die. Game over. Placed my foot on the edge of the fence and leaned on a board, which immediately creaked nastily, but still held for now. For now. I reached out to the tree, my fingers almost brushing the coveted apple. The fence beneath me creaked, one board already starting to wobble. Just a little more. Just a little more. Luck. Oh god. We're doing the click minigame again. Yay, I successfully plucked my apple. Oh! Oh, my body! My bones! Oh, hey, what's up? Are you gonna kill me? Is this the end? Yeah, what? Okay. I had to click for her to yell at me. First thing I felt upon regaining consciousness was the worn springs of an old couch digging into my spine. My head throbbed and my whole body ached, reminding me of the fall from that damn rotten fence. Where am I? The obvious question popped into my head. Oh, it's a lovely little house. It's got doilies and everything. Creepy doll. The doll in the cupboard stares into your soul with glassy eyes. Its hair is tangled and its dress is faded. Any other doll would look like an innocent toy, but this one, it's as if it's watching. Great. I feel so safe here. An old wooden chair. Just looking at it, I can already hear it creaking plaintively. It stands across from the bed, as if someone had just been sitting there, leisurely sipping tea and watching me while I was unconscious. But look at all those apples! Free snacks! Calendar with an icon. An old calendar with an icon on the wall, darkened by time and lovingly framed with fabric. The Virgin Mary gazes sternly, like a grandmother who always knows when you've done something wrong. Her gaze stirs unease in your soul as if you're already guilty of something, even though you've done nothing yet. I cautiously surveyed the room. The room was shrouded in semi-darkness, with a sharp, sour scent lingering in the air. Ew, no! Old people smell! Suddenly, the door on the right creaked open with a prolonged groan. Hello. It's okay, take your time. Don't worry about it. I think that I have to watch the grandma cross the room. We're not going to make this any faster. The short old woman, a proper granny type, sat down on the chair next to me. She stared directly at me, cautiously, as if trying to peer into my soul. So, you've woken up, you loafer? She muttered under her breath. I clicked past it. Why do I keep doing that? A hint of satisfaction, apparently. I thought I'd have to call an ambulance from the city. Where did you drop in from? From the apple tree, I almost said. Obviously, I couldn't stay silent since I'd been trying to steal from her garden, and now I was sitting in her house. It's just a tree. She can't possibly be mad at you. Telling her I was hiding from criminals would be dumb. She might call the cops on me. I could just say I came to my grandmother's house. Or lie and say I'm looking to buy a house here. That's an option. Does this lie influence my ending at all? I'm gonna keep truthing to them. It's fine. Well, I choked, unable to finish even the first two words. Swallowing hard, I tried to continue. Well, I came to my grandmother's house. Margarita Pavlovna, have you heard of her? Well, I'll be, she exclaimed, bouncing slightly in her chair. Yoshenka, is that you? Just the other day you were running around the village as a kid, and now look at you, grown as tall as a tree. You still remember Granny Nira? Yeah, I love your apples so much, that's why I was stealing. I silently nodded in response, trying to pass as one of the locals, forcing a smile to mask my growing tension. How did she even remember me? It's been so many years. So, what brought you into my garden? Did you not see my horrible fall? I wanted to make an excuse, but all I could think about was something about apples. I saw an apple, thought I'd pick it and eat it. I replied in a hoarse voice, still trying to pull myself together.
Well, well. Sneaking around on in other people's gardens, huh?
It wasn't really sneaking, it was directly in front of your home. It's broad daylight.
Look at you, all obsessed with apples. Rita would have given you a good scolding for that. Just last week, she promised to make me some pies. Said she'd visit, but something must have come up.
Grandma's been dead for 10 years. Last week, I froze, a cold wave of unease washing over me. Pies? What pies? My grandmother passed away a long time ago. I swallowed hard, tried to convince myself the old lady was just confused. But she sounded so certain, as if there wasn't a shred of doubt in her words. To her, Rita was definitely alive. Maybe it was just senility, or something more serious?
She wanted to have tea with me and tell stories, just like she always does. You know, I just ran into her recently at the store, Rita. She was standing there waving at me, but I didn't go to her. She seemed odd, not like she used to be.
A chill ran down my spine. The old woman looked at me as if she really had seen my grandmother alive recently. At the store? I stammered, repeating her words, feeling a sharp pang in my chest. The forest creatures got her.
Yes, at Step at the store. Where else? The only store in town, stupid idiot boy.
She confirmed with a nod, then suddenly her eyes lit up as if she'd remembered something important. Personal space, please, Nyora.
Listen, Yoshenka.
Granny Nyora leaned towards me with a loud exclamation, making me flinch and step back. Not noticing my tension, she continued.
I still have that book of hers. I kept meaning to return it, but never got around to it. Then just give it back, sweetheart, please.
Yeah, sure, anything for you, Grandma Nyora.
Give it to Rita for me.
While I struggled to think of how to respond, she had already stood up and started rummaging through an old bookcase. Granny Nyora pulled out a small, worn book. She walked over and handed it to me with her trembling, bony hands.
Here, Yoshenka, sit on.
Tales of Monsters. Okay, thank you. Thank you for the book. Crooked. I took the book in my hands and felt time stand still. I recognized it immediately. It was my grandmother's collection of fairy tales with yellowed pages and a worn cover. Grandma used to read it to me often when I was a child. The Crook Hag, a tale about a terrifying swamp hag who lured travelers into the rotting bog, disguising herself as a frail old woman with a gaunt face and dull, tearful eyes. She sat at the edge of the path, groaning and sighing, whispering in a raspy voice,
Help me, my dear boys, help me.
And the moment some kind soul reached out to her, the old woman's facade would crumble before their eyes. The dry skin cracked and peeled away in strips, revealing the face of a monster, a twisted grin, rotting teeth, and sharp, beastly claws. I remembered how Grandma told the story in her deep, raspy voice, as if the Crook Hag herself was lurking in her breath. There was also a story about the Watchone, a freak with a single crimson eye in the middle of his forehead. Grandma described how he would leap out of the forest. As twilight fell, the branches cracked, the Liko came, its shadow packed. I still remember, I chuckled. There was something about how the Watchone attacked people. Flesh torn into shreds, blood spattered everywhere. You know, the usual gruesome stuff. You know, for kids. Grandma knew how to captivate me with another creepy tale, her favorite listener, ensuring I'd have psychological scars. Yeah, these stories were definitely her style. They didn't have much moral or deep meaning, they were just good old-fashioned creepypastas. Ye old creepypasta. Turning a few more pages, I froze. Banebush. This was my favorite story, maybe because of that childhood incident in the forest. It felt the scariest, the most poignant to me. I closed my eyes, completely consumed by the memory. Were we gonna get jump-scared by him again?
It was a long time ago. So long ago that neither you nor I were even a thought yet. But back then, as now, the forest surrounded our village on all sides. So dark and dense that the branches of its trees formed an impenetrable wall. Light barely penetrated, and the canopies rose so high that sunlight couldn't filter through the leaves. This forest was no ordinary one. They said ancient powers lived there, feared and respected by both people and beasts. Villagers ventured cautiously into the thicket for mushrooms, berries, or firewood, always returning before nightfall. And children were warned not to wander in the forest alone and to run straight home if anything happened. At night, if you listened closely, you could hear rustles and faint whispers, as if the forest itself was warning those who ventured too close. And in the very heart of that forest lived the Leshy. Stories say that he was the master of our forest, always stern, strict, and powerful. He knew every path, every blade of grass, every creature hiding in the dense thickets. He watched over the entire forest through the eyes of birds. He did not tolerate uninvited guests, and those who dared disturb his peace rarely returned. But the Leshy had someone dear to him. Oh yes, he wasn't always alone. He had a granddaughter, Vixie. Oh, and what a sly and swift little fox she was. People said the little one melted the Leshy's heart, and from then on, the forest became brighter and friendlier under her care. In the form of a fox, she could run through the forest, but when she wished, she turned into a little girl, shedding her fox guise. Aw, that's so cute! She grew up under the Leshy's wing, cheerful and lively. She loved the forest, knew all of its secret paths like her grandfather, could talk to birds and play with hares.
Does that mean I get to meet her? Because now I've been informed?
But you know, dear, Vixie was drawn to the village. Even though she grew up in the forest from infancy, her origins were, no matter how you looked at it, human. As soon as she grew a little older, she started begging the Leshy to let her go play with the village children. The Leshy, though strict, gave in eventually. How could he resist his beloved granddaughter? He was reluctant for a long time, but he loved her so much that he eventually agreed, only sternly commanded to be back before sunset. You see, Vixie, though she turned into a girl, would become a fox again as soon as the sun set. So she would run to the village from the forest, introducing herself as a neighbor from another settlement. The boys and girls welcomed her joyfully. She ran around, played with them, and brought mushrooms and berries from the forest to share with everyone.
That's why he has the scarf. It's a sad backstory.
Vixie charmed everyone. Oh, how lively and cheerful she always was. The boys completely lost their heads. They all fell in love with her. They even gave her a polka dot scarf. No gift was more precious to her. She treasured it, kept it as if it were her most valuable possession.
I can't wait to find out how she got brutally murdered.
But one day, after an especially joyful day, Vixie was heading home when suddenly, like a blow to the head, she stopped at the edge of the forest, wanting to adjust her scarf, but it was gone. Her hands trembling, she searched herself, but she couldn't find it. The girl panicked, tears streaming down her face. What a disaster!
You just wait till tomorrow.
Without thinking, she ran back to the village, but the sun was already sinking, about to disappear below the horizon. The boys helped her look for the scarf, but it was too late. They found it, but the sun had almost set. Long shadows stretched their claws to the ground, heralding trouble.
Quick, run!
Vixie darted toward the forest, back to the Leshy's home, but the boys grabbed her by the hand.
Don't go, Vixie. At night, evil spirits roam the forest. They'll track you away, and you'll be lost. Yeah, it's okay, just empty text box.
She didn't make it back to the forest before sunset.
Ew, gross, a fox! Kill it!
Right before the children's eyes, she turned into a fox. Vixie tried to explain herself to them, but people don't understand the language of foxes. The children were terrified, thinking some forest spirit was tricking them, and fear, Lyoshenka, makes the imagination run wild. One of them picked up a stone first, and then the others followed. They struck her, not realizing what they were doing, their eyes wide like frightened rabbits.
Well, I guess I'm not going to be meeting her in the woods in this ending.
Leshy stood at the edge of the forest as usual, listening to the whispers of the night, when suddenly everything fell silent. Nature itself held its breath. He immediately knew something was wrong. His granddaughter had never been gone this long. Worry slithered into his heart like a snake, squeezing it with cold coils. He searched for a long time, inspecting every bush, every path, his heart aching more with each moment of foreboding. And then, oh what sorrow, at the edge of the forest beneath a tree lay Vixie in her fox form, beaten to death. Beside her lay a blood-stained scarf, the very one the boys had given her. But as she slowly knelt, looking at her, and a fire of rage ignited in his chest.
Oh no. Ah! That's a big tree. That's a big scary tree. How'd you fit all those guys on there?
His heart hardened in an instant, and his body sprouted red branches and roots. In his rage and grief, the Leshy killed everyone who crossed his path. The earth throughout the region was soaked with blood that day, and he retreated to the heart of the forest, hiding among the trees.
Well, they kind of deserved it.
After that night, the villagers began calling the Leshy BANEBUSH, because no creature more terrifying could be found.
Oh yay, I got an achievement for reading the story. Brushing away the haze of memories, I snapped the book shut. The story, though my favorite, always left a heavy feeling. Why is that your favorite? What's wrong with you? Yes, Grenadier, I'll make sure to pass it on.
Oh, let me pack some apples for you to take with you,
she muttered in her creaky voice. Granny Nero moved to the next room with surprising agility for her age. Quietly made my way to the exit, hoping to avoid any attempts to prolong the conversation. Well, you're not going to take, like, free snacks?
Here you go, Yoshenka, and send my regards to Rita. Tell her to visit more often.
Yeah, sure.
But first, dear, show me where our... Yes?
Granny Nero paused, looking as if she had forgotten the right words. Why am I pointing to... I'm gonna save. What is point to the sky supposed to mean? I immediately realized what she wanted to hear. The Big Dipper's over there, Granny Nero, I said confidently, randomly pointing my finger at the sky. Yay, she's happy. Granny Nero handed me the bag of apples, stretching her wrinkled lips into a toothless smile. Goodbye, Granny Nero. Thank you. I awkwardly thanked her for the treat and quickly left her house. Yay! I got 2 achievements all at once! What was that all about? What do you mean was that? She's a sweet old lady! Be nice to her! Granny Nero clearly has memory issues. It's amazing that she recognized me despite all that. Looking at the bag of apples in my hand, I remembered falling off the rotten fence, and a question suddenly arose. How did the old lady even drag me to the bed? Yeah, well... I'm not gonna think about it. Who cares? As I approached my new home, I was already anticipating flopping on the creaky prehistoric bed with a contented look on my face. But it seemed fate had other plans. Oh no, dem guys! Anyway, well, they're gonna yell at me again. Want stuff in my hands by morning. Okay. Okay. Got it. Yeah, sure, man. I got it. Is not having my knife gonna be a problem now? There's too many variables that I'm worried about. Can I take the apples into the woods? Who wants apples? Okay. Well, I guess we're going to the forest. Did I take my apples with me? My snacks? My snackies? I don't even get to eat my apples. Alright. Alright. I think I need to... Oh, hey, we're talking about the Leshy, and I think I might need to take the mushrooms so that I can meet Mr. Leshy and tell him I'm sorry about his granddaughter, and maybe something interesting will happen. My snackums. The tales to be believed, he was a merciless, bloodthirsty creature angry at the whole world. A maniac who had hidden in these local woods. What if the tales about Vixie were true, and the Banebush, remembering her, helped the innocent? Like that boy who went into the forest to save the village. If that's the case, I'm screwed. Thoughts about the Banebush and his possible protection no longer brought comfort. They only plunged me into new terror. What if he's not an ally at all, but another threat far scarier than any city gangsters? What if I just die here? I don't even know what's worse, surrendering to the cops or venturing into the forest next to find the Leshy. What a mess. Okay. We're gonna come across the wolf now? We're gonna abandon our friend the wolf? Okay. Yeah. My grandma's ominous stuff about the forest. Anyway, bye wolf, sorry. Did I ever play Inscription? No. I don't think so. But we do know that I have memory loss. Okay. Bye, wolf. Sorry, wolf. I'll get the knife next time, maybe. Okay. Eat it. I gotta see if I can tell Mr. Leshy that I'm sorry about his grandkid. Maybe he'll give me a free out. Okay, yeah, wiggle about it. Okay, let's save again. I'll pay. And then I'll refuse later. My hands jerk toward my face, the wolf lift tore me apart. etc., etc. Yeah. Anyway, take my eyeball. Did I kill those guys? What happened? Is this the same ending? It's case number 707, but I don't know if they have the same case number all the time. No, I still killed them. Why is it so easy to get the I killed people ending? Okay, let's load. Here. Yes. I will refuse. You will not have my eye today, my good sir. No, don't come closer. Oh no, he's angry at me.
Cowardly rabbit.
Oh no! Ow! My heart, I think. I did not give an eye to the people. No, he got me. I've been got. Oh well. It's another ending, I guess. The end. So reading the story didn't even do anything. This the end, it looks different. Are the little the end cards different for every ending that you get? What does this mean? Okay, let's I guess we'll start here. I'll be nice. Anyway. Yeah. Who to forest we go. Let's skip past everything. Okay, leave. See what happens if I don't take the mushroom. No. I don't know if this is gonna be any different. It's too dumb even for me. Okay. Where's my drooks? Are they just gonna shoot me again? No, is this new? Go F yourself. Okay, no, he just shoots me. Are you insane? Why'd you kill him? Told you we needed to scare him and shake him down for money. Now we've got a corpse. What are we supposed to do with him now? Just forget it. We'll leave him here. The animals will finish the job. Alright, fine. I guess I'll die alone in the woods again. What things do I need to do to get a new ending? How many do I have left? I think I have 2. Yeah. Your sad, lonely death in the woods. Whatever. I can't even skip past it. There it is. My sad, lonely death in the woods, and I don't even get an achievement about it. Okay. Yeah, the end card seems to be different for all of them. I don't know if that means anything. Where's the antiques gallery? I have 2 more. Okay, let's just new game it and get the knife. And then also talk to the old lady. Let's see. Yeah. Lore. Okay, look around. I gotta get my knife. Approach. Yay, knife! Alright. We have knife. We have achieved knife. I still think that's just a really stupid move. Why did you turn on a flame and then immediately go to sleep? Oh, oh no, I can't. Actually, if I'm fast enough, can I skip? No. Alright, fine. We'll walk straight until I get jump scared. Yeah. You're lost in the woods. I've heard it all before. Ah! The monster. Okay. Anyway, bye. Bye, the monster. Gotta get jump scared by a bird now. Okay. whole lot of skipping. Knock. Okay. Apple tree. Alright, I'm gonna save again. I don't know if I'm like saving it opportune at like the best times. All right. What if I don't? I think I'm required to take the apple. Unless I miss. What if I fail the minigame? Let's bungle this apple real quick. Come on. He's not even trying. His fingers are too short, and then he fell and died. Realizing I couldn't reach the apple, I jumped off the crumbling fence. I think if I'd hesitated for even a second, I would have fallen with it. Breaking my neck over an apple is the last thing I need. I think the store will be a safer bet. Okay, so that probably doesn't actually do anything. Well, I guess we can go to the shop then. Okay, I'm gonna load it again. Yes. Give me my apple. I don't know if this is important at all. Yeah. The apple. Climb. Okay. It's time to click. Okay. Oh no, who could have foreseen this? Alright, we're gonna skip past my conversation with Grandma. I already understand the lore. I get it. This is a lot of lore. Ah. Alright, stay silent so I can keep my knife, please. I'm not sure if any of this will change. I'm like trying to think of all the choices I made, and I'm not sure if they will affect the ending at all. Okay, what did I do? Okay, I think what I want to try next is to meet the spooky guy after saving the wolf, and then maybe the wolf will save me from getting got by him when I refuse to let him steal my eye. Hey man, hey wolf. Okay. Yeah. Growl. Erg. Okay. Good thing I kept the knife. Come on. Yes. First try. He's so angry at me for saving his life. Okay. Eat it so that I meet the spooky guy. And then refuse to give him my eyeball. That's my plan. Let's see. Don't come any closer! Wolf friend, save me, wolf friend, please! Buddy! No! You're worthless, you're useless! Why'd you do that to me? I might have to look up how to get the last endings. I don't really know what I'm doing. I feel like I've run out of things I can think of. The end. Can't believe my wolf friend didn't help me! Why even live? Okay. We have 2 more endings. I want to see what they are. I'm gonna be Achievement Hunter Eilis. Is there a guide? Let's see. Steam help? They're all in Russian! Okay, no, there's one English one. Alright, let's see. I think if I tell Grandma that I'm looking to buy a house, that'll give me an ending? Possibly? Okay, let's see. Right here. I don't know if it's an ending I've already gotten because I haven't been paying attention to what they're named. Anyway, my apple. I gotta get my snacks. Takes like maximum brain power for me to click really quickly. Hi, Grandma. You didn't need to make that noise. That wasn't really that spooky of you to just lean down and look at me. Alright. Hi, Grandma. I'm looking to buy a house. Well, I choked, unable to finish even the first two words. Swallowing hard, I tried to continue. Well, I'm looking to buy a house in your village. Just looking around, I awkwardly spouted the first story that came to mind. And be angry at me.
Oh, you want to buy a house, huh?
The old woman slapped her knee and visibly tensed. She squinted, her eyes glinting with suspicion.
You're a swindler, aren't you? We know your kind. They talk about you on all the channels, how you cheat old folks.
She shouted hoarsely, spitting as she spoke. No, I'm not. I tried to explain, but the words caught in my throat. Her gaze grew sharper.
Get out of here! I'll call the police right now!
The old woman wagged her finger threateningly in the air. No need for the police. I took a step back, noticing her grip her cane tighter as she started trembling nervously.
Oh, it's very necessary. Look at what you've come up with, and I've heard someone sneaking around at night, too.
Her gaze suddenly turned distant, and she fell silent, staring into the void.
Or was it me sneaking around?
I thought it was kind of a weird thing to say. What do you mean by that? I was ready to just turn around and leave, but she focused on me again.
So get out! I'll call the police, got it? I still can.
She broke off her nervous muttering and froze, staring into the void, and I realized it was time to leave. She's having an episode. I should leave her be. Well, a nervous chuckle escaped me, slightly easing the tension. What was that? Looks like people out here, far from civilization, have gone completely wild. I didn't want to go anywhere, but my growling stomach left me no choice. I had to head to the store. Alright. It's already getting dark outside. I wonder how long I was out. I hope the store's still open. Alright, to the shop we go. Against the backdrop of the dim sky, the store looked like a featureless concrete box. Behind the dirty, streaky windows, nothing was visible. The dilapidated state of the building didn't evoke sympathy, only a dull irritation. Hopefully it was still open. Alright, if I stay out too late, do I just get eaten? Hello? Is anybody there? Closed. Curses. The sound of my own voice felt deafening in the silence. I kept tugging at the handle, not giving up on opening the door. Looks like it's closed after all. I didn't want to keep pulling on the handle. Some old man might run out and whack me on the head. Folks here seem a bit tense. The point of wandering around the village completely vanished, and listening to the insistent growling of my stomach, I headed home. As I approached my new home, I was already anticipating flopping onto the creaky prehistoric bed. But it seemed fate had other plans. Oh no, it's these jerks again. I prefer to just get eaten. Hey boys, how's it going? Well, hello there, villager. Hey. Okay. What, am I getting new dialogue from you? Are you gonna kill me in a new and interesting way? Let's see. What a day, I thought, and at that moment my nerves finally stopped. I couldn't take the baseless accusations anymore and snapped, shouting, I don't have anything. Okay. I don't think that's new dialogue. Oh, he just knifes them without asking me about my opinion, I guess. Yeah, get him. Get him. Alright. I've been shot in a slightly different location this time, I guess. Mommy, you okay? Get in the car, let's get out of here. There I am, Family Guy death posing in the middle of the road. You guys, I don't think there's a way that I come out of this unscathed. Alright. That was quick. You died right by the house, never even reaching the forest. Yay. Alright, well that's another one then. What's the last one? Is it to lie to the old man about trying to buy a house? Will he also get mad? Okay, I think looking to buy a house might give me a new ending for him. Can't catch a break. Can somebody please let me live just once and also not be like in psycho jail? Please. Okay, do I have one from before the guy? I don't know. I can't tell. I'll start a new one, it's fine. I can skip through it, no problem. Alright. Let's get the knife, just for fun. I don't think it's necessary, because it seems like the dialogue option might be what gives me an ending. Just to have. It's my emotional support knife. Okay. Yay, knife. Alrighty. Get past everything again. Come on. Get in those woods, kid. Get on with it. The jump scares lose their effect after I've skipped through them like 10 times each. Can't help but listen, I gotta see all the endings. I can't not see all the endings. I have to see all the single images that they give me when I die. Cannot. It skips past the jump scare on that one. Okay. Approach. Let me in. Let me in again, please. Let me in. Thank you. Alright. Such a strange noise. I refuse to do this puzzle. I don't wanna. I don't wanna do it. Get me out. How do I skip? Okay, I can skip the puzzle. Bye-bye. Bye-bye, puzzle. I did it! You guys, it took like half a second. I'm so good at electricianing. I did see that there are achievements for doing the puzzle very quickly, and I am not bothering. Because that's hard, and I don't feel like it. Alright, yeah, you're radio. Your dancing cat. Skip right past the cat. I'm looking to buy a house. I'm thinking of buying a house near a village. Just looking around, blurted out somewhat hesitantly. In our little Rubliovka? That's a horrible collection of letters. Stepan joked back immediately. Looks like he felt for it. I smirked in response to his joke and continued the conversation. I'm sorry, I don't get the joke. I don't speak Russian. I've always been curious about how people live in places like this. Simply and kind of genuinely, I guess. Stepan frowned as if he remembered something unpleasant. Do you know anything about our village? Well, aside from the name. I thought for a few seconds, shrugged, and replied, Not really. The scenery here is just beautiful. Ah, youngsters, as usual, not interested in anything. At least you could have read up online before deciding to buy a house here. You can tell me about all the ghouls? Tensed up and raised an eyebrow, not hiding my surprise. Alright, don't get so tense, I was just kidding. You see, our village, it's not a simple place. This land has been through a lot. What do you mean? Well, you see... the murders. Oh no, new lore? Non-murder related lore? Life here has always seemed good. Fertile land, a nearby river, and a rich forest. People settled down here a long time ago. They lived without troubles, everything seemed fine, but over time they started noticing oddities. You know, behind such tranquility as ours, there's always some kind of eldritch force. It's a weird thing to say to someone. People used to say the forest here is alive, guarding these lands. Supposedly anyone who comes here with ill intent doesn't live long. I never believe those tales, they're just village legends, but there's one incident I still remember. Now we get to hear about the murder. I was just a little brat back then, barely able to walk. It was near the end of the war. Beasts of men started raiding the village, looting, kidnapping girls, burning houses. True savages, worse than wolves. If only Stalin were around to deal with these devils.
My uncle was just a boy back then, only a little older than me. His name was Ivan. He saw those beasts burn down the neighbor's house and beat the owner to death with a club. That same evening, my uncle told my mother, I'm heading into the woods. Gotta do something about it. What he planned to do, he didn't say. All I remember is the wolf howls around the village didn't stop all night. My uncle never came back. He vanished completely, and so did the bandits. Nobody ever saw them again. It was like the earth swallowed them whole. Naturally, people started whispering that my uncle did something in the woods and the forest took him, but who really knows?
Interessant. For a moment I zoned out, processing Stefan's words. They reminded me of something familiar, sending a chill down my spine. The story. Suddenly I realized my grandmother had told me the same story, disguised as a spooky fairy tale. The hair on my neck stood up. Could it all really be true? Well, thanks for the lore. So what do you think actually happened? Stefan shrugged thoughtfully.
Who the hell knows? Maybe it was wolves, or maybe it was something unnatural. But a similar incident happened not too long ago. A couple of years ago, a family moved here from Moscow. So they were looking for peace, quiet, and tranquility. Yeah, I heard about this one.
Okay. They had stupid, awful kids. Maybe the Leshy really does protect these places. Perhaps. I hope he doesn't kill me this time. Can I get one ending that's not horrible, please? I brushed the thought aside and asked the first question that popped in my head. Maybe the Leshy took them. Perhaps. Anyway. But you know, Alexei, think twice before buying a house here. There are quieter places in our country.
Yeah, no kidding,
I murmured thoughtfully, barely shaking my head. I think I've heard enough local tales for today. I really need to focus on figuring out how to solve my own problems. Time to head home. Stefan Wolfovich, thanks for the tea and the talk. I should get going. Alright, bye-bye. Oh my god. Snacks. Thank you. That's so nice. Old people love giving you snacks when you talk to them. Thank you for the bagels. Well, if this place is so protected, maybe I shouldn't be afraid of Foreman and his goons. If only they could all just be swallowed by the earth. Hopefully they will. As I approached my new home, I was already anticipating Foreman in the bed, etc., etc. These guys again. Just can't leave me alone. Stay silent. Okay, to the forest. I probably should have saved at some point, but I guess that's not happening now. I feel as though it may be too late. Okay. I'm like looking at the text of the guide that I can see underneath the game window. Wait, well, let me just read a little bit to make sure I'm not bungling something because I didn't save. Okay, wait. They're telling me about the ending that I get for lying to the man about looking for a house. Okay, I think I need to let the wolf out and then pay with my eyeball, I think, if I'm reading it correctly. He helped Ivan, Stefan's uncle, who went into the forest to save the village from marauders. Okay, we're talking about the Leshy again. Maybe this BANEBUSH only helped the innocent. Okay. The guide implies that I need to bungle saving the wolf the first time and then actually properly save him. Let me, just in case I accidentally don't bungle something. Just in case I do something correctly by accident. Alright. Alright. Let's try to mess this up. But not too badly. Sweaty, pure-soaked hands barely held the knife as it slipped off the trap's mechanism. The wolf jerked its paw and snapped its teeth, and I recoiled, barely keeping my balance. The wolf's eyes bore into me, blending pain with a strange human understanding, sending a shiver down my spine. It can't be, flashed through my mind, and a conversation with Grandpa on the store surfaced. Okay, so this is the guy. Our spooky lore. That same evening, my mom's uncle said, I'm heading into the woods. Gotta do something about it. All night long, wolf howls surrounded the village without stopping. Just imagine like a spooky echo effect on my voice. People started whispering, saying the uncle did something strange, and the forest accepted him. Oh my god, it's all connected! It's all coming together! So the forest accepted you, huh? Unexpectedly, I found myself speaking to the wolf. Ivan, it's gonna be alright. Don't panic, okay? I'm from Stepan. I'll get you out of this now. Just don't eat me, alright? Okay, let's... I can't mess this up, I can't. Maximum effort. Okay. Please be nice to me! I'm doing my best. Alright. Yay, got an achievement. When the metallic jaws finally opened with a deafening screech, the wolf pulled his bleeding paw closer. It immediately, as if following a call, trudged into the forest. Okay, bye-bye. Make sure to help me later. Make sure to give me a good ending, please. For a moment, the wolf turned and froze, staring at me. I froze in response. And I looked at him, and he looked at me, etc., etc. Bye-bye. Alright. After the wolf disappeared among the trees, I waited a few minutes and then headed in the same direction. Alrighty. The adrenaline subsided a bit, and my legs began to give way, as if reminding me of the risk I'd taken. What was that? I asked myself, finding no answer. I tried to understand myself and my actions. After all, risking my life for a wolf that could have torn me apart was madness. But if for a moment I assumed it was the Leshy's familiar, the risk seemed justified. Fear still gripped me, but deep inside I felt a flicker of pride for what I'd done. Yay! A good ending? Good ending, question mark? Please, please? I was tired, my steps grew clumsy, and my thoughts tangled like the interwoven branches above, but I kept walking. This guy. Curses! Okay. I think... I'm afraid of, like, ruining it. Okay, I need to eat it and then pay? Question mark? Okay, let's save again. Right here. Listen, it's my last ending. I can't mess this up. Alright. Eat it so that I meet up with Mr. Spooky. That's a lot of sounds. Okay, pay. Please. The ending, please. Desire to live tore me apart, screaming like a wounded animal, drowning out even the terror of what was about to happen. I could already feel his sharp, thorny fingers digging into my eye socket. I wanted to scream, to pray to God I never believed him, but the words stuck in my throat. All that remained was trembling and an all-consuming terror coursing through my veins. And then my wolf friend showed up, and told him, no, don't worry, he's chill. My mind simply refused to believe what was happening, but I had already made my choice. Yay, wolf friend! I couldn't make a sound and was about to nod in agreement. But suddenly the oppressive silence was pierced by a wolf's howl. There's my buddy! The Leshy turned sharply toward it. The wolf, the huge black beast I had freed from the trap, emerged from the thicket. Yay! Everybody clap! His eyes gleamed in the dim light. He slowly approached and stood between me and the Leshy. Do I get cool forest superpowers now? Yay, woo, woo! The moment stretched on like an eternity. I watched as the two beings conducted their silent dialogue. Without words or unnecessary movement, it was as if they were reading each other's thoughts. Are we good? The Leshy turned away from the wolf and stared at me. His gaze was so heavy I felt as if I were nailed to the ground.
You have helped the forest. Consider that the forest has accepted you.
Okay.
Now serve it.
How so? The Leshy's words sounded like a command. It felt as though the entire forest had heard him. Am I gonna get wolfed? Are they gonna turn me into a furry? No! That's even worse!
You will become a raven, carrying my will.
Oh, why can't I be a sick wolf? What? The ravens are so little. I didn't want to be a bird! At least I'm not dead. That's something, I guess. No, I'm being birded. Caw. What's so wrong with birds, man? I have to click okay, so that I can stop staring at my hands and hyperventilating. Get birded! Stopping from Chacho, it's raven time. No, but this is such a downgrade though, I don't even have opposable thumbs anymore! Can I at least shapeshift about it? The pain was unbearable. The bones of my skull crunched, stretching my face, my jaws clenched, turning into a hard beak. Ick! My skin split apart and black patches of feathers emerged. My arms breaking from within stretched into wings, heavy and wet with clotted blood. That's nasty! I thought this was supposed to be a good ending! My legs cracked as they twisted into thin bird claws, which immediately dug into the ground with their talons. My body became light, but it didn't feel alien to me. The world had changed. I became something else, broken and reborn. Caw. All the sounds around me faded, leaving only a commanding voice in my head. The voice of the master.
Let your flight be filled with fury. Let your cries echo over my forest. Let them reach the ears of those who doomed you to this.
I mean, you doomed me to this, though. You did that. That was you. You're the one with magic.
Let their blood merge with the earth.
Well, I can't kill them that hard. I'm just a bird. The night was dark and ominously quiet. I can, like, peck them a little, I guess. My wings glistened in the moonlight as I circled above Foeman's gang, entrenched near the village. Peck their eyes out. Get 'em, get 'em. Below in the shadows of the trees, the wolf crept toward them, still limping from the trap.
Tonight, every creature will pay for their sins.
Yeah, get him. Peck that guy to death. The wolf struck first, swiftly, mercilessly. His fangs sank into one's throat, blood sprayed in a fountain, soaking the ground. Terror seized the others before they realized their comrade was already dead. Relishing their screams, I dove down. My talons found their mark, sinking into Withug's face. His piercing scream filled me with satisfaction. He tried to fight back, but I was faster, more agile. My beak gouged out his eyes, my claws scraped skin down to the bone, leaving deep gashes. Fight, 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 fight. Their bodies fell to the ground, generously feeding it with blood. Panting heavily, I perched on the branch of an old oak. The wolf silently approached me. These creatures are dead. Their sins will rest with them. Let the forest remember this night. Let the darkness remember that I will always be here. Let anyone who dares disturb this place knows that it is ruled by BANEBUSH and his loyal servants. Yay, I love the woods. You guys, I think I probably should have just gone like to a hotel and turned off my phone. I did it! I got all the endings, I did it, I win! Merry tomorrow, it's 12 a.m. Alright. What's about? BANEBUSH is a small and very read visual novel in the horror genre that immerses you in the eerie atmosphere of an abandoned village. Okay, this is just like the Steam description. There are credits, though. Good job, everybody, on the credits. Sorry, voice actors, that I turned you off, but you were speaking Russian and it was hurting my brain. There they are. There's all the credits. Thank you. They didn't thank me for playing their game, though. Little offensive, little rude. Alright, we did it. We got all of them. I've successfully gamed. Sorry about all of the sounds. I'm honestly kind of surprised that my neighbors did not continue fireworking into the wee hours of the morning. That's wild and crazy. They were like, a few days ago, they were like practicing their fireworks at like 2 a.m. Like, it was really late early. And we were like actively falling asleep. Like, I was awake because I'm always awake because I stay up too late all the time. But roommate was asleep and got woken up by all the fireworks and was quite upset. I don't know how they keep getting all these fireworks. It never ends. I live in constant torment. I guess it's like to get caught if you did them that late. I guess, but like, Our neighbors are crazy, man. They will just shoot off fireworks for like no reason. Like it won't even be a holiday. They just find them lying around and are like, yeah, I'll make some explosions today. Sometimes I'm like just sitting in the house on like a random Tuesday and I'm like, is that gunshots? And then it's just the neighbors doing like those little like crackly popper fireworks. Are we sure they're fireworks? I'm quite sure. There were lights. They're party rocking. We have neighbors across the street that shoot off fireworks, and we have neighbors like behind us that have really loud parties, like just randomly. Everyone makes so much noise all the time. It's so loud. Save me from my hell. Alright, well, hopefully next time I stream they will not be doing fireworks. I think they probably have run out of their stash. It might take them a couple days to get more, so we should be safe. But yeah, anyway, thank you for coming. My apologies once more for all the noise. I couldn't stream yesterday because of lights out, so I had no choice. I had to. But yeah, I will see you guys when I see you. I don't know if I'll be able to stream tomorrow. Maybe. It's like a 50-50 shot. We'll see. But yeah, this was fun. This was nice. And I'll see you tomorrow or next Friday, who knows. I'll flip a coin tomorrow and we'll see. Alright, I feel as though I'm repeating myself. So yeah, bye, good night, goodbye.